6 reporting.
Red 10 standing by.
Red 7 standing by.
Red 3 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 9 standing by.
Red 2 standing by.
Red 11 standing by.
Red 5 standing by.
Red 1 standing by. Oh, yeah.
Same my name.
Coming in hot. You know, all I gotta do is go on Twitter for like, I don't know, first hour of my morning on a Sunday morning. Pretty much get enough energy to fire through a show. Oh yeah, here we go. I stole today's quote from Dalrock, immortal, inimitable Dalrock. Dalrock, DALROCK.wordpress.com. Go see him. Yeah, we're going to get into it today. I spent 3 friggin' years to build up to this show. You're going to hear me rant. I don't want to. But you guys...
Here's something really interesting. It's the bad boy paradox, they call it, that young, naive women are attracted to those Machiavellian types. Definitely. But when they get older and more experienced, they start to be able to see through that. The reason they're attracted to it, as far as I can tell...
Catch that? When they get older, they can see through it.
And I talked about this with Bus to see if I was way off on the wrong track, is that those reckless, fearless people mimic real fearless competence, and young women aren't good at distinguishing between the two. And so they get sucked in by the sort of psychopathic recklessness because they think it's fearless competence. And then of course the guys who are doing that, they'll prey on that because they're trying to ape competence. But what the women are really after in their heart of hearts, they might be out for an adventure too, because there's that element of it, but they want that fearlessness that does go along with true generosity and competence, and also the ability to keep, real darkness away.
Oh, would you like to see some real darkness here, Jordan?
If something happens, nobody will help you there. You are alone in a country where you have never been before.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm married to an inmate living in the US.
I'm having this long flight, visiting somebody that I've never seen.
What's this guy incarcerated for?
Carjacking and had a firearm.
This is such a strange situation.
She's moving away from everyone and everything that she's ever known for someone that she's only met once. That is in prison.
Say it with me. Hybristophilia.
I was sentenced to 50 years for aggravated robbery.
Why am I doing this?
When I get out of here, we will create a life together.
They've never lived a day together on the outside world.
All right.
I'm sick. I'm just waiting for something to go wrong.
Prison Brides premieres Wednesday, January 10th. Only on Lifetime.
I don't think Lifetime will have any problem with me rebroadcasting that.
You just commit to one and choose to be faithful to her.
I'm just not wired that way. I spent my whole 20s trying to fix myself.
But you're a man of self-control. You work out, you do business.
That's not how I am.
Think that might be a limited mindset?
I think it's none of your business, but I don't want you to think I'm triggered by you. I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're triggered, dude. And this is really where the whole red pill movement thing breaks down, man. Because the red pill...
Brother, red pill and movement do not belong together. I'm sorry, but... you're going to have to get your Oxy wash and wash it out of your brain.
Movement says, hey, as a man, I want to be everything that I can possibly be. I want to improve myself to the maximum possible potential that I have inside of me.
No, dude, that's actually not what it's about.
But I want to leave faithfulness, one of the core tenets of being a good man, to the side. I don't want that to be a part of my character. Dude, if you're not faithful as a man, if you're not integrous as a man, you're useless.
Is integrous actually a word?
I don't care how much money you make, how much status you have, how high value you are. Without your word, your integrity, your reputation, you're nothing.
Yes, thank you. I could not have said it better myself. And it's unfortunate because I think a lot of men in the red pill community, a lot of men on these podcasts make a lot of solid points when it comes to women. These men are really...
No, you don't. You just suck off the teat of other people who've done way more work than you, Pookie.
Really good at knowing and talking about what men want. But the problem is when they're not so good at being examples of that or even talking truthfully about what women want. Good women want faithful men.
How dare you?
For me personally, it's non-negotiable. So trust me, guys.
Yeah, because me personally, I am the benchmark for all women.
Outbreed these people. We are. I mean, we're gonna have more babies, and 20 years from now, they're gonna say, why is the country so right wing? Well, you were too busy having abortions and having gay sex, and we got married and had kids, and we will repopulate the species.
You know, I have tried many occasions to nail down Charlie Kirk for a debate. Still waiting on that call, brother.
By the way,
I'm not kidding,
by the way, you can be left, right, center, logical, emotional. That is by far the most logical argument you just gave statistically that cannot be argued because.
Yeah, well, numbers wise, you know, they did try that actually back in, I don't know, what was it? Great Britain, right? Wasn't that? You know, the problem with Scotland is there's too many Scots in it.
Because it's proven. It's going to take 2
Give
decades.
us some time.
We'll just outbreed them. We'll just breed them out of society.
Everybody, buy us some time. Buy the Constitution.
Did you guys ever see, like, remember, I hate to do this to you guys. You remember Braveheart? Remember? Like, that's what Prima Noctua was, right? I think.
Some time.
The key, though, we got to have normal level of kids.
Well, yes, we got to get our testosterone rates high. Young ladies got to get.
How do you expose? Does this guy look like he's like working on his testosterone? I'm just saying.
Get married, and we have to have the babies. And by the way, I mean the Bet David family. You guys are doing your part. Having children is not a left wing.
I don't know. I think he's only got 2 kids. You did your part.
Value. The truth of the matter is this: is that if left wing people keep on not having kids, whether it be by abortion or being in homosexual relationships, how exactly they think this thing is going to work?
They're going to import them. That's how it's going to work.
Moms, we can't wait to stop breastfeeding
so we could get Botox!
We're old moms. I'll be 60 when he graduates high school.
We're old moms. We get mommy makeovers and facelifts at the same time.
We're old moms. Every test I had during pregnancy was labeled high risk and geriatric.
We're old moms. Our friends from high school have kids in high school.
We're old moms. We lived it up in our 20s, but there's no proof.
We're old moms. I just had a baby at 42.
We're old moms. We've lived our lives. Now we live for our children.
We're old moms. When we baby wear, we can't walk for 3 days.
Oh.
Tell these bitches to go to hell.
I just read a study about why women in relationships often want to stop having sex with their husbands, and it blew my mind. So apparently women go to the doctor and they're like, I don't know what's wrong with me. My libido's bad. What should I do? And the doctor's like, something's wrong with your body, and does all these tests, and they don't know what's wrong. It's perimenopause or whatever. You're too stressed. Well, what they really found is that women whose husbands don't do as much domestic labor have a hormonal response that makes them not want to have sex with their husband. And the reason for this is that
that hormonal response is their husbands don't look like Jason Momoa or Alan Richson.
Women are caretaking children, their libido goes down and their caretaking goes up.
Is anybody buying this shit? Because I sure ain't.
It's actually a hormonal response. So when they feel their husbands are dependent on them for domestic labor, they have this response.
So all you got to do is just do chores, right? And she'll just start, the China tingles just whip right up.
Where their libido goes down and their caretaking goes up. And they feel kind of skeezed out because they're like, ew, I'm kind of having sex with someone I'm caretaking. So...
No, you're skeezed out because it's familiarity. He's fat, you're fat, and nobody wants to fuck. That's pretty much it. Does this chick look like she's in a kitchen that is like provided by a guy who doesn't like take care of shit?
And to quote the study, it says,
what if you have like a housekeeper?
The mother caregiver role that women find themselves cast in within heteronormative frameworks can cue this nurturant hormonal system which lowers desire and leads women to view dependent men's sexual overtures, talking about dependent for housework, as inappropriate, non-erotic, or even disgustful.
Disgustful? Okay.
Disgustful. So if you want to have sex with your wife, 2 more dishes.
Anybody believe this? I'm going to leave this one up. I'll come back to this one.
Let's talk about open-hearted masculinity. Woo! A new trend for 2024. Yep. Bumble says that 30% of males are actually doing more sharing, caring, and they are more empathetic. They're
But wait a minute. The bitch that was on before said that they weren't living up.
willing to open up. They want to be, in emotionally charged relationships, and I love it. I love it. I just think it's great. I think it's great, you guys. Keep up the good
Sound like she love it? I don't think so.
work and keep sharing and keep being vulnerable and open your hearts and see where it gets you. I'm sticking to it. Follow for more.
I'm an OnlyFans star. Of course the HR department at my old job found all my leaked photos. I'm an OnlyFans star. Of course your favorite artist, rapper, and DJ have all offered to fly me out. I'm an OnlyFans star. Of course I grew up in a repressive Christian cult. I'm an OnlyFans star. Of course I've had work done in Colombia. I'm an OnlyFans star. Of course your weird uncle found me on TikTok and now subscribes to my page. I'm an OnlyFans star. Of course my family has a group chat where they judge all my life's decisions.
There's this assumption that because the ultimate form of human life is to really be in a committed and intimate relationship, that's the most healthy thing for somebody to do. If you've had enmeshment trauma to a serious degree, you know that period.
This chick's like voice is just, it sounds so like.
In your 20s, at least in America, in your 20s, there's this period where you're supposed to be just like super self-centered, you know? So it's the time that you go to spring break and like you go and you change your major 400 times in college, and that phase where you don't have to consider anybody else's best interests might be really important for you. I want to put that on the table as a potential.
It's like ASMR. Oh, it might be important for you. You might really want that. Oh, look, here's my Alcoholics Anonymous tattoo.
Because what will happen after a person really feels that they get to choose with their free will to have complete independence, they will then choose into relationship. And so instead of sort of fighting the other person, they're like, okay, well, I choose to take your best interest as part of my own.
Sorry.
Personally speak out against male promiscuity. I think one of the worst problems in our world is promiscuity in general. I don't support dudes like sleeping with a ton of women. A lot of guys are like, if a guy has a high body count, dudes will be like, dude, nice. I think it's degenerate.
Like it's still like a hot girl, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's degenerate, personally.
It's like contributing to the problem with
exactly.
men as well.
A lot of influencers that are like, yeah, women with high body counts are bad, but all.
Who?
Say my
name.
You as a man should go get laid as much as humanly possible. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, you're literally advocating for men to contribute to the problem that you're calling out.
There's a reason why Sovereign Bra is on this show quite a bit. Would you like to see why? Here's why. This is, wait there. I'm fairly sure this is why he shows up. Call me crazy, but what are you going to do? Hello, children. Hello there, children.
Hello there, children. How's it going?
How's it going? Oh, sorry. Like, I got cut myself one more time. I don't listen to my own fucking advice. People go, oh, Rose got cold sore. Oh, that's nasty. No, it's actually not a cold. When I get those, if I get a cold sore here, you'll know it's a cold sore. Trust me. When I get like blistered lips, it's because I'm outside, usually in like the first snow, and I'm outside and the sun hits. And like whenever I'm like in the sun after having, I don't know, been inside for a long time, then that's when I start to get like little blisters and stuff on my lips get chapped and stuff like that. But this actually right here, I'll even point it out. Look. That's what I get for using a freaking straight razor before this show. Anyways, yeah, I wanted to. We're gonna come back to Sovereign Bra. I forget what the hell is his name. Adam Allen something or other. I can't even remember what the fuck the dude's name is. Yeah, it kind of pissed me off a little bit today, and he pissed off Myron a bit too. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. Why don't I just put this on right now? Because we're gonna. This is actually gonna get us off the ground. As I was saying before, all I really have to do before a show is like just kind of troll Twitter. Rollo, are you ever going to run out of material? No, fuck no. You know why I won't ever run out of material? Because you guys don't ever run out of material. That's why. Let's see, where did it go? I'll share my screen for you. Sovereign Bra. Sovereign Bra. You already saw this. Red pill influencers, women with high body counts are bad. I don't think I have ever said those words have ever come out of my mouth. Seriously. Oh, high body counts are bad. Never have I gone, oh, well, you know, high body. I have pointed out that high body count, like for women who have higher body counts, who have lots of partners, tend not to do very well in marriage. I report did this thing go? Yeah, it's okay. I'm just going to pull that off. The pull from, sorry, I had a malfunction on Twitter. Weird. I have never, find me the fucking clip where I've said, you guys, that's bad. That's very bad. No, I leave that up to scumbags like you. That's what I leave that up to. I leave that up to the Michael Knowles who are going, you girls aren't living your life right. I leave that up to scumbags like this going, you men just don't understand. You're not living up to your potential. I leave that up to you guys. You know what I do? You know what those red pill influencers do? You know what those Myron Gaines guys, Myron might have said that a few times. Okay, I'll give you that. Be specific about that. Who the fuck are you talking about? I'll tell you why you stay ambiguous the whole time. Is because it gives you a certain amount of like impunity, right? It allows you to just sort of be ambiguous. I wasn't really talking about you. Get the fuck out of here. Stop being a pussy. God damn it, man.
Say my name.
Stop being a puss. Because that's what this is. This is fucking cowardice. That is cowardice. Red pill influencers, women with high body counts are bad. To show, please, who are you talking about? Red pill influencers. Who would that be? Who? Please be specific. Also, red pill influencers. Go get laid as much as possible. Sleep around with a bunch of women and spin plates. I wonder what book that. Where have I heard that one before? I don't know. Just some red pill influencer somewhere. And avoid marriage because it's a scam. Oh, I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know who he's talking about. It's degenerate, hypocritical, and heavily contributes to the brokenness of our world. Take the Christ pill instead. Everything will be so much better. Oh, gotta drop the scripture in there too, otherwise it's incomplete. All right. I can't even, like, here's the thing that gets me about this shit. Okay. This is that you want to drive me crazy. This is how you drive me crazy. Okay. Sovereign Bra. 3 fucking years, dude. Everything you want to know is within, granted, this is a pretty thick book. I'm sorry, sorry for going on for about, 400 pages here. But you know what? The last, that much of, probably more than that, a little bit more. Yeah. You know what I did? Cited fucking sources because everybody says, Rollo doesn't cite sources. He doesn't talk about anything concrete. 3 fucking years of my life, you sons of bitches. Every last bit in this, every part of religion, 3 years of my life interviewing. Oh, let's see. Abu American. Who else? Muslims, Sikhs, Hindus, hell, Krishnas, right? You know why I did that? Because Tulsi Gabbard was like, this was in 2020 when I was doing this. Tulsi Gabbard, Krishna. So I'm like, oh, well, I got to cover all my bases, right? Let's see, Catholics, Mormons, Protestants, Baptists, evangelicals, Jews. I have still talked to Rabbi Kaba these days. Oh, Romo must be a Jew. No, I have Jewish friends. Thank you very much. I am not a Jew. Although I have a lot of respect for the people who I have worked with in the past, especially in the alcohol industry, who, if you know anything about wine and spirits, there's two distributors on planet Earth. There is Diageo, and then there's our Republic National RNDC, Republic National Distributing Company. So if you work in wine and spirits, you get to work with the mob, Diageo, or you get to work with the Jews, which is RNDC. I got to work with the Jews. That's how I'm very familiar with all that. Thank you very much. Yeah. If you want to know why I use the word schmutz every now and then, now you know why. Okay, there you go. I am not Jewish. Thank you. No matter what Nick DeFuhrer says. So that being said, why? Name names, dude. Please fucking name names. And you know why you won't name names? Because you know this kind of shit exists. Because you know I'll be able to back it up. Because you know I'll be able to call your ass to the carpet. That's why you don't name names. Please name names. You are a coward if you don't name names. Yeah, that was that emoji. Yes, you are a fucking coward. If you don't say, well, Myron says this, or Rollo says that, or Ryan Stone says this, or I don't know, whoever else, like who else are you going to, I mean, really, who else is on that list? I mean, now Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, is out of the picture. Who else? Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate doesn't have anything to do with the red pill. Is he a red pill influencer anymore? I wonder. I would love to ask all these tradcon moral queers. I would love to ask them if they still think that Andrew Tate is the bee's knees, because that's what Ruslan said back in July of 2022. Oh, I think he's real. Like, I can remember this is the best of the most ironic self-own that retroactive self-own. I remember having that quote unquote debate with Ruslan back in the day. And what part of that conversation was, I said, do you really think that, and I was just curious. I wasn't even trying to put him on the spot. I said, do you really think that Andrew Tate is serious about being, a Christian? Because this was before the conversion, right? And I was like, do you actually think that? And he's like, oh yes, absolutely. I think he's really got a good head on his shoulders. And this is when Patrick Bet David was all like, Patrick Bet David would convince us that he went to middle school with, back in the day with Andrew Tate, that they've always been really good lifelong, school friends or some shit like that. And I asked him, and I said, do you honestly think that he's really about that? Because I know Andrew. I've known Andrew since like 2017. And I wanted to ask this because I knew Ruslan was full of shit, particularly when it came to Andrew Tate. And then literally like within a month, I think September of 2022. Oh, that's when that's when everything went to hell and he got canceled on big tech canceled him. And then he had his come to Muhammad moment. Instead of come to Jesus, his come to Muhammad moment. And I was like, oh God, that was too much. I was like, it was too perfect. Of course, nobody cares. No one cares. That meme, was it the Jurassic Park meme? Nobody cares. Nobody does. They don't. I could go back in time and go, see, I own this motherfucker. And be like, nobody cares. Why only you care, Rollo? Why do you care? Why do you think this is so important? That must be a personality flaw. Let's rock and roll. Let's go. Thank you very much. Asshole. His name is Chase. Oh, is that what it is? Chase. It's not Tad. It's not Biff. I don't think of like if you look at, I don't want to pick him apart because he's actually a pretty good looking dude. I mean, no homo. He's probably a very cool dude. He's just jumping on this grift. I don't really have a big problem with Chad or Chaz or Chase or Tad or Zach. Tyler, Ryler, was it Ryan? No, it was Tylen. I think it was Mike. We were on Access Vegas, and he was like trying to come like Brock the bartender, and we were coming up with like alpha male, like Chad Thundercock. We're trying to come up with things, and I think he matched like Ryan with Tyler, and it was like Tylen or Ryler. That should be the next one. It's not Kevin and Sales anymore. It's Ryler the barback. Hey, Rolo, 30% of men ages 18 to 30 may be virgins. They may be. Really. In the same way, there's no excuse to not improve with access to the internet, of course. What age is there no excuse to still have your V card? 18. There's no excuse. You probably still do. A lot of people do. You know, I'll tell you what's funny, Daniel. Would you like to know something very entertaining? Here's something entertaining. And I've never done this before on any other show. I don't know if you guys caught Thursday. By the way, we're doing it every week. We've been doing Access since we came back from our very long hiatus. And Thursday will be no exception. Here's your announcement. What are we, 26 minutes in? Yeah, we're going to be doing Access Vegas once again on Thursday, which will be the 25th of January. And this is going to be the industry night episode that we have been trying to put together for quite some time. And because the AVN Adult Video Network Expo and Awards will be in Las Vegas during this time. I went last year. I didn't make too big a deal out of it last year because I had to be really careful with, like, I don't want to get banned. Like, I didn't want to put too much on my Instagram, because like there's a lot of titties rolling around there. And I was like, I don't want to lose my account because like some girl just went and flashed me or some shit like that. And I was there with Miguel, and I went there twice. Actually, I went to the expo twice, and we learned our lesson. Me and Mike. I'll tell you that story in a bit. But actually, I'll tell you right now. The first and only time we ever had to cancel an episode was on the AVN Expo week, on that Thursday or Friday, I think it was, because Mike and I rolled down there. We're thinking, oh man, we're Access Vegas. Nobody knew who the fuck we were back then. And we go in there, and I know some of the people. I know Domo. I know a few of them. Tiffany Fox was not there at that time, but like I know Domo, and I know there's a few others, and Sarah Jesse was another one we knew. There's a bunch of, not as many as we know now, but we rolled down there. Me and Mike rolled down there. We go, oh, we'll just go and see how many of these girls want to be on the show. Well, they all did. They just didn't want to be on it right then. Getting those girls away from the expo with all that attention and all that money. And when you go down there, one of the first things you'll see, if you go, I don't suggest you do, but if you do go, if that's your thing, that's your hobby. That's your hobby. If you go down to the expo, the first thing you will see is women who are at, I think it's like the Chatterbait kiosks. They have like all these little kiosks and stuff, and there's some of them are like for toys, sex toys. They have a whole section for sex toys. Then they have like all the online areas, and they have traditional. Then you go meet your favorite porn star, and she'll sign her name on your dick or something. I don't know. But you go around the whole expo and everything. It's actually kind of fun. But the thing is like they're actually not allowed to be nude. They can be in pretty much as close to nude as possible, but they're not allowed to go walking around with titties hanging out, because people are going to be down there and they're going to be live streaming, and I can't do that all of a sudden, you're on Instagram doing a live on Instagram, and then suddenly some chick with big bazongas walks by, then you're screwed, right? Then you're done. So I think that's one of the reasons they do that. So they actually try to keep it keep the majigums under wrap. But so you go down there and you'll see that all these girls are like, they're making money hand over fist live in front of you. Like I'm watching them on laptop, like little laptops with little webcams and stuff like that. They're, hi guys. Oh yeah, I'm here. They're having a great old time and everything. You will not be able to pull them away from that expo, which we didn't know. So we actually had to cancel the very first time first and only time we ever canceled the Access Vegas was because we couldn't tear these girls away from it. They all wanted to afterwards, but they didn't want to do it then. And so we got screwed. But this time is going to be a little bit different. We have Domo helping us out. She's going to be our hoe wrangler for this show. And we know a lot more girls in the industry. So I will have Domo. I'll probably have Sarah Jesse. I know we'll have, Tiffany Fox is flying out. my new my protege, Tiffany Fox. Wait, hold on. Tiffany Fox.
I feel like I just took a bath in battery acid.
Yeah, that Tiffany Fox. She's coming out. I tried to get Sterling Cooper, but Sterling is in Europe right now, so I couldn't get him to come out. But we're gonna have we're probably gonna have, I would say, anywhere between 8 and 10, maybe even more girls in the industry who are now like friends. Now they know the show and they know that they want to come down and hang out. And it's only going to be for like we probably won't go for more than like 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, because they want to get back to the expo. And this time we're doing it on a Thursday instead of trying to do it on a Friday. So there you have it. I guess his Christ pill lets him bang his girlfriend before marriage. Yeah, I saw that too. Somebody actually sent me the video, and if you want to send that to me or email it to me, I would love to see it. But there is a video floating around of Chase, talking about how he nailed his girlfriend before they got married, or I don't know. Is he married? Glenn, is he married? I don't know that he's married or not. Bring on Jason Love. I would, if Jason Love wants to come on, I'd be happy to have Jason Love on. I would love to have Jason Love on. I would like to do an interview of him and like find out what the real story is behind all that bullshit with Adam 22. My girlfriend asked to go through my phone and delete all girls in my contacts since I mentioned a chick from the past. I'm fighting an emotional roller coaster. What do I do? Tell her yes, so long as she deletes her OnlyFans, her Facebook, and her Instagram first. Sure. Say, you know what? I'll be happy to delete all those contacts because you're the only girl for me, because I am not allowed to. If we're going to be in a monogamous relationship, and those are the terms, right? Because it's like a hostage negotiation, right? If those are the terms, then you're telling me that I'm not allowed to talk to any of my old friend or my old girlfriends or whatever, and I'm not allowed to pitch my sexual availability anymore to these girls. Fine. 100% okay with that. Guess what? Here's the deal. You now lose the option and the privilege to advertise your ass on Instagram. Ready? Deal? No? Okay, then shut the fuck up. I'll keep my fucking people in my. Oh, you know what? Actually, this is a really good one. Hold on a second. This is actually timely. This is very, very timely. Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, perfect. Perfect timing, my friend.
Way that women disrespect men without realizing it is through granting permission. In general, we have to ask permission of those who have the authority to grant our requests. This means that we act as though the good in question is actually in the possession of the authority who can grant us permission, whether that's technically true or not. Taking possession of that good without permission would be an egregious act of insubordination. And this is because permission only moves from the high to the low. Those with more power never have to ask permission of those with less. Now, the fact of the matter is that unless you come to a mutual agreement to the contrary, a man has no obligation to ask your permission for anything, even if he's in a committed relationship with you.
Now, does that answer your question? I certainly hope so, because it answers it for me. Thank you, Dr. Orion Taraban, for reiterating what I've been talking about since this book. Now, why do I say that? Because you'll hear this quite often. I think you've probably heard me I've said this about other videos as well. I know it was what the hell was that bitch's name? Gia McCool, who I shouldn't call her a bitch. Actually, I like her very much. But Gia McCool had this. If you don't know who Gia McCool is, it's Gia McCool, a former porn girl. I think she was maybe a softcore porn. I'm not sure what she did, but now she's of course a trad wife, like all the rest of them, right? Everybody. This is the year of the trad wives. Just saying, the trad girls, or the trad thoughts, the trad spurgs, whatever you want to call them. But she said something to the effect of like, "Oh, you have to allow your man to lead. You want to get that twitch in my eye? Just say allow." You have to allow him to lead. You have to it's okay. You have to let the little husband think he's in control every now and then, because if you don't, then, it's the care and feeding, proper maintenance of a husband. Just, it's okay. You get to make some decisions, honey. Fuck you. Anytime. And I tell you the thing that gets me, like, I called her out on this. This was back 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I called her out on this. I said, anytime you're saying allow, it's exactly what Dr. Taraban was saying here. I said, anytime you say allow, you are the one who is in control. When I say that, when we start talking about responsibility versus authority, whenever the word authority comes up, that's whatever, especially tradcon women and especially tradcon guys, they fixate. They just glom onto the word authority. What do you mean authority? Do you mean crushing her little tiny sensitive female soul? How horrible of you. Boy, I would imagine being you. Imagine being so insecure that you would need to control a woman's every move. What are you going to do? Plant an Apple AirPod, or was it? Is it Air? Yeah, AirPod on her car to find out where she is every waking moment? Are you going to take her phone and go through your phone all the time? Boy, I would hate to be as insecure as you are. It all stems from exactly what Dr. Taraban was just talking about. Permission. Why are you asking permission? Sometimes guys will laugh and they'll joke with their buddies. Oh, got to go check with the boss. Anytime your friend says, got to check with the little lady, got to check with the boss. Hey, can you go hang out with the boys? We're going to go play basketball. We're going to go fishing this weekend. We're going to do this. Hey, come on out, man. Let's go out and just go crazy, man. Let's go lift. Let's go. It doesn't even have to, it could be anything innocuous, right? The guy in assuming you have a tribe or a group of male friends at all. But if you do, the guy who says, oh, sorry guys, got to check with a little lady. And he comes back and, oh, looks like we're all good to go. Oh, sorry, guy. Was it Can't Man? Sorry, guys. Wife won't let me. That's the guy who has no authority. He has responsibility, but he has 0% authority in his relationship. And to the point where the guy doesn't even think about it. It's like, it's the first thought, right? His mental point of origin is, well, I got to clear it with the boss. That guy, his mental point of origin is his wife. That's who it is. Does not make decisions for himself. His wife makes decisions for him. Has no authority in his relationship and all 100% responsibility in his relationship. So when people ask me for an illustration of when we talk about authority and responsibility, 0% authority, 100% responsibility. If you ever want an example of that, look to the guy who says, oh, I got to clear it with the little lady first. That's a perfect example. Perfect chef's kiss. It's a perfect example of a lack of authority with 100% responsibility. Because if the guy doesn't pay the bills, well, boy, mom's gonna. If mama ain't happy, God ain't happy. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I think that's almost a worse idiom, I guess, or vernacular jingoism. When people say, oh, happy wife, happy life, that's easy. Oh, okay. But if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, that you're ruined. You are absolutely ruined. So to answer your question a little bit, let me see if I can go back to you real quickly. Are you asking permission? Do you live in a police state? So are you fucking around with the girls who delete your girls in your contacts? See, the reason why I say this is, first of all, the idea that women would allow a man to be in any way, to make decisions. You got to let a man lead. You know what that means? It means you're leading, ladies. You're the ones with the authority, and you think you're going to just diminish yourself just a touch. So he thinks he's actually pulling the strings. He's actually, calling the shots. Yet another reason why when women get a raise in pay or they get a promotion at work or whatever else, and they start making more money than their husband, or even if they're even if it goes from she's making less and she's making about the same as him, when even that parity, if she gets to parity, it's still bad news. The clock's ticking. And God forbid she makes more than you after you having had made more than her for a while. The number one precipitator of divorce is a woman making more money than her husband. And I don't mean that like from the outset. Like guys will go, well, my wife's always made more money than me. Oh, I think it's great, man. It's awesome, man. I love it. She pays for everything. Don't you love hearing dudes like that? But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like guys who made more money than their wives or their girlfriends, got married or were married, and then that woman started making more than he did. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Because it used to be like the attraction was, oh, he looks like he's somebody who's competent. We just heard this chick talking about competency, right? This chick, right? Well, I'll bring her back up in a second. Competent men, they need to do these. Oh, women don't want to get with a guy who doesn't wash dishes. That's what's known as chore play. Would you like me to explain chore play to you? It's been around for a long, long, long time. I know, Gandalf, I was there 3,000 years ago. But anytime that woman is saying, I allowed him to do this, or allow him to be a man, allow him to whatever. If that's even like a thought process, ladies, if you have a husband, if you have a boyfriend, I don't know how many ladies are on the list watching right now. If you have a man who you say, well, I let him lead. I let him do these things. You got to allow a guy to lead. That's what Dr. Terabout's talking about. Again, I've talked about it quite in depth in Religion in my 4th book. That's the thing, is in a gynocentric social order, there is a pervasive sense that women are always the authority. Always. And if they're not, they should be. They're entitled to be. They deserve it. It's retribution and restitution. And part of that restitution means that women have, at least from a feminist perspective, women ought to, are entitled to, and by God in heaven above, should have more authority than men. They should be calling the shots. It's not about equality. That's why I love it to get into those discussions about, well, you don't know what feminism is. Well, what is it? It means that men and women are equal. They will never be equal because the system itself is inherently unequal. The environment, the challenges, what is it like? And then, of course, I get into the whole rigmarole of like explaining like why I don't believe in quote unquote equality. Do I hope? Yeah, should we be, equal standard of justice? Yeah, that ain't going to happen either. But what I get into is like people when I say it's a shock to the system. I said this on Dr. Phil as well. I don't believe in equality. Period. End of story. Equality is a lie. It's a bill of goods we've sold, well, really Western culture since the Enlightenment period. Well, we're all born equal. No, we're not. We're actually not born equal. And anytime anybody who knows anything about the 4 laws of genetic behaviorism knows we are not equal. And that's actually a good thing. It's nothing wrong with that. It just means that your strengths are different for different challenges. That's all it is. Equality doesn't happen in a vacuum, but we've believed that it ought to be happening in a vacuum really since the 1600s, 1700s, Enlightenment era thinkers. Because all they had to go on back then was, well, human nature is this. They didn't know any better, so it worked for a while. Worked pretty good. Hell, the Constitution of the United States is more or less premised on that. But now, no. But it sounds good. Sounds good. The brochure certainly makes it appetizing. Christ cells. Is that what we're going to call them? I need a pithy little terminology. Christ cells. It's not too bad. I was thinking Tradsbergs actually, but rational asshole. The rational trucker is asshole. Enjoyed AV Access Vegas. Thank you. When all the girls got to talk. Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? I thought this last one we had, we were down to I think 5 girls and 4 guys is what we had. It was me, Mike, Tristan, and Tyler. Those guys are from Men of Action. They're part of the organization of Men of Action, which is Mike's group. And then we had Lucy. We had Vicious Wolf, who I love, and she's probably on Molly or something at the time. And then we had Morgan, and then we had Electro Barbie, And then we had and Michelle. God, how can I forget Michelle Mark? So I had 5. Yeah, so it was 4 and 5. So it was 9 of us. It was a really good. I didn't have to direct traffic as much as I usually do. If anything, I had to sort of like keep Mike under wraps a little bit more, because you let Mike get rolling. Like you guys say I monologue. Like this is a talk show, okay? When people hit me up in the comments and they go, Rolo likes to hear his own voice. It's a talk show. This whole show right here, what we're doing right now, it's a talk show. That's why we're doing this. Oh, Rolo likes to hear his own voice for 3 hours once a week. I'm so conceited. I'm so narcissistic. I must have MPD. Yeah, but it was good though. It was good. Sorry, I'll keep going here. Enjoyed when all the girls got to talk. Keep the ASMR girl. Oh God, yeah. That her real name is Lindsay. She goes by Electro Barbie. She will probably be on. She might be on the industry night. I don't know, because she's in the industry. Porn. When will the debate with Wilson happen? I don't know. I like Andrew Wilson. I want to. He has friends, or he's got family, I think, in Reno. So if he ever gets to Reno, if I can swing it, I might even try to get him here in Red One Studios. So what you're referring to is the creationist or evolution debate that you really want to see. When will the debate with Wilson happen? As I am trying to reconcile God with evolution. I grew up a creationist. Where did the single cell organisms come from? They came from nowhere. Okay, you know what? And maybe Sam can dig up the link for this. If you want to, here's how would you like to know how I reconcile God with evolution? Or reconcile God with, is that what you said? Yeah. There's a great book, and of all people in the world, my father, my dyed-in-the-wool atheist father, gave me this book. It's one of the last, actually, it is the last book my father ever handed to me before he died. It's called Finding Darwin's God, and it's by Kenneth Miller, and really great read. Again, if you want to know, I actually do like the last chapter in here. I refer to that, and sort of like people say, well, Rolo, how come you're the rational male? How do you believing in God is irrational? Read the last chapter in this book, and you'll get why. You'll understand why. It would take me far, far too long to explain it to you in depth, but I already did. I already took all the time in the world to do it. I took 3 fucking years to do it. God, make me crazy. With regard to social hierarchies, I call out BS when I see it and don't tolerate being anyone's doormat when socializing. It hasn't gotten me any friends or ladies. I think I'm alpha because I can fight. I think I'm alpha because I can fight. Should I tone it down? Like how are you toning it up, I guess, would be my next question. Like see, the thing that gets me is like when people like, I don't tolerate being anyone's doormat. Well, sometimes they're not trying to make you a doormat. They're just trying to like sort of like look at it this way. What's your name? Crits. Look at it this way, Crits. Not everyone is out to get you, but everyone is out for themselves. So everybody's not necessarily trying to turn you into a doormat, but they always have their own interests, at least at the beginning, all have their own interests in mind. So not everyone is out to get you, but everyone is out for themselves. If you can key that, you want to talk about pragmatism and balancing, squaring that circle. That's usually how I do it. So, fun fact: cold sores are not always herpes. I know. I get the, when I get like, so what I had before, in fact, you can still see a little bit of that right there. This is not a cold sore. This is like my lips were chapping because I was out on my freaking sleds trying to start them up, thinking that maybe I might be able to get a couple runs in because we had such a very light season this year. But I was shoveling snow. Let's see, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I'm out there and I'm clearing out the snow. I'm firing up my sleds. I'm like, oh man, Ski-Doo Summit. Let's go, man. 850, get on the 850 and rip, man. I wanted to go boondocking. I can't because I have Ned's injured still. But when I get a chance, I'm probably going to do that. So I'm out there, I'm messing around. I'm dreaming that I'm actually going to be able to get a run, like a few runs in this year. And when I do that, you got to remember, I don't know about you guys, but I live very close to Lake Tahoe. I live very close to the Sierras up here. And when we get a good dump, that's pretty bright when the sun hits the snow. And that's when I start to get like really kind of chapped lips and stuff. And that's when I get those kind of things. The immune system will naturally create an upper lip blister once a year in cycle with regional conditions. See, there it is. You got a herpy lip. I do actually get cold sores, but they don't go here. They're usually in the corners, and I haven't had one for a long time. It's usually when I'm stressed out, which I am getting right now. So maybe I will get one. Letting him lead is like giving one of the Kens a lower court circuit position in Barbie. Yep. That's okay. You can be the token judge on the jury or judge on the case. Rolo, you aren't just one of those red pill guys. You're the OG RPG. Yeah, thank you thank you very much for that. I appreciate you, Chuck Royale. I love your avatar too. Yeah, I know. That's just it. So when I see crazy shit like this, I'll go, oh, those red pill influencer guys they just care about promiscuity. No, we talk about promiscuity. I do my damnedest to avoid to avoid making judgment calls. Now, it's impossible. I know it's absolutely impossible. But again, this goes back to the fact that you can't give people data. You cannot relate data points until, well, actually, you can't relate data, statistics, hard facts, information it's impossible to do it objectively because people will interpret it through an emotional lens. You can't tell people data without telling them how to feel about it. So if me or Myron or Ryan or Mike or I don't know, Kevin Samuels, whoever, name your favorite, one of those red pill guys, name any of those guys. Is it possible that there's one or two guys in the black pill doomer, extreme ends of the MGTOW movement? You want a movement? There's your movement. On that side of the spectrum, is it possible that they go, women ain't nothing but tricks and hoes. And boy, I would hate to be them. Oh, I can't wait till they get their comeuppance. I wrote an article called Lex Talionis. You know what Lex Talionis means? It's the law of reciprocity, right? Is it law of Hammurabi? Like it's the punishment should meet the crime. The crime should meet the punishment should meet the crime, right? And tooth for tooth, eye for an eye, that kind of thing. And so what prompted that was really the Reddit sub called Pro Revenge, but I kind of reheated that. I came back to I had an old post called Pro Revenge, and I came back to it, but I updated it for like 2024 because that's what I think a lot of, like, especially trad cons right now, but I think a lot of people who have a really bad perspective or bad observation anyways of the red pill. That's what they think it is. They think it's all about hate. They think it's those there's just the flip side of feminism. You want to make me fucking crazy? You want to make me rub your fucking noses in it? Say that. Come to fucking Vegas, sit across the table from me and say, well, the red pill is just the flip side of feminism. I will show you picture after picture after picture. I will give you example after example of women in the great pink pussy hat march. I will show you legislation. I will show you selective service. I will show you just example after example after example of how feminism is in no way even remotely equitable to what you think, you moronically, confidently, ignorantly think is the red pill. I will rub your fucking noses in it. Every time you say that, every time you say feminism is just the flip side of the red pill is just the flip side of feminism, I will rub your fucking noses in that shit every fucking time. Take that to the bank. I will stop the fucking show and do that because I am sick to death of hearing this shit. Oh, the red pill's a movement. No, it is not. It's not. Oh, it's a movement just like feminism. No, it's not. You see an ocean of pink pussy hats out there, in 2018, 2017, 2018? Until you see red pill guys getting, I don't know, really successful hit shows on Hulu or HBO or something like The Handmaid's Tale. Until that happens, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I am sick of hearing that conflation. The red pill is nothing like the last, you can say 60, 65 years of militant feminism since the sexual revolution. And it is nothing like the feminism that we can trace all the way back to 1848, 1849 in Seneca Falls, the first suffragette movement. I don't even know what the hell. I know it was, what was it? The Seneca Falls Convention. You show me where the red pill Seneca Falls Convention is, and maybe we can talk. Until then, shut the fuck up. All it is you pandering and grifting because you want to force fit all of this hate and all of this misinformation and all this bullshit that you think is going on with those red pill influencers. And you want to force fit it into your convictions and your ideology and your I don't know, Tradsburg grifto sphere right now. That's what you're trying to do. And I will be right there to put the fucking kibosh on that. Oh, it must be Yiddish. I will put the kibosh on that. Every single time. Take that to the bank. You want to call the red pill feminism? You better fucking come correct because I'm going to rip you apart. Anise and Krill. Where'd you get that name? Deference to male authority. I distinctly remember submitting to a higher authority before I was an adult. This is the missing ingredient for most women. Exactly. In fact, that's one of the, I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Because I'm sorry, I'm going all Huntington Beach on you. When I get pissed off, I like the beach boy comes out of me. No, I was going to say is that the deference to male authority is completely gone. In fact, even just suggesting that there should be deference to a human being with a penis dangling between his legs is them's fighting words. It goes up people's necks because they have spent the better part of their lifetime, certainly in schools, popular media, probably their single moms, hell, in churches, saying that, well, we are all supposed, God made us all equal. We're supposed to be equal. Men and women are supposed to be equal. No, we're not. That's not what it says in your book. My book too, right? Not in our book. Doesn't say that whatsoever. Tell me where it is. Show me you're all up on your scripture. Show me where it is. I'll be happy to rub your noses in it one more time. It's not there. Glenn Lawrence has made a freaking career off of that recently. Yeah, but it's that deference. And that's the other thing I was going to say is whenever I use the term deference, I use that in favor of submission, even though that is really the biblical term. Now, this is if you use the Bible as your rule book and not the Quran and not the Torah and not maybe the Torah, part of the Torah, and not the Bhagavad Gita and not, I don't know, whatever the holy book is for Sikhs. And you know what I'm saying. Like, if that's you got to remember, you got to go by what the rule book is. If you're going to play, sorry, I'm going to go nerdy Warhammer 40,000 gamer on you. There's a concept, and I've never even brought this up before. There's a concept in war games, and I think probably in role-playing games as well, like real tabletop role-playing games. I'm not talking, your World of Warcraft shit. And certainly in war games, there's two concepts. One's called rules as written and rules as intended. I love those concepts, particularly when it comes to shit like this. You can apply that to all kinds of things. We do that. Technically, that's what the Supreme Court of the United States is supposed to determine. They're supposed to interpret the Constitution, right? Rules as written or rules as intended. We run into this all the time, whether it's like a Warhammer fantasy battle or it's Warhammer 40,000 or BattleTech or whatever else. It's like there's a part of it that's the rules are there to like mimic a sort of a fantasy world, and there's an intention to that. But then there's the mechanics of the rules, which is rules as written versus rules as intended. The same thing can be applied to the Quran, to the Torah, to the Bible, to the Bhagavad Gita, to, I don't know, the Havamal, whatever. You can look at those things and go, well, this is how I'm interpreting this part of the Bible. And I love it when people are like these Bible literalists when it comes to Genesis. But then when we get to Revelations all the way at the end of the Bible, then it's very interpretive. And then all of that literalism flies out a fucking window. This is how I interpret this. This is what I think the author was trying to say. Jesus Christ himself spoke in parables because it was easier to teach a lesson by storytelling. He was a great storyteller. He knew what he was doing. Jesus knew what he was doing when he was telling parables because he knew that you can't just give people information without telling them how to feel about it. Thank you, Jesus. There's your Jesus Christ moment. He was absolutely 100% right about that. How did he do that? Spoke in parables. So you think about those stories and everything else. It's much easier to digest than trying to give you like, okay, stop fucking around. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. Here, 10 Commandments. Okay, let me tell you a story about this so you'll understand why we say rules as intended versus rules as written. Same thing. Absolutely same thing. So when you look and you see someplace in the Bible, I'm going to, again, rule book being the Bible in this case, you look at like submission. Women grind their teeth. They chomp at the fucking bit at that word. Submission? That sounds like slavery. We're the Hebrews of old and let my people go. That's submission, right? That's the connotations. And by the way, this has all been very deliberate for certainly since the sexual revolution, certainly since militant feminism came around. But we don't have a problem with the word submission in the same sense that we don't have a problem with expecting men to have some sort of masculine responsibility, some traditional masculine responsibility. Right? That's submission. That's still fucking submission. Just nobody talks about it. You use submission in a term, and you use submission, and the subject of that word submission happens to have a vagina and tits. Women lose their mind. Men lose their minds. You say submission, and you're talking about submitting yourself to God or whatever, like whatever your religion. It could be, you could still be, Islam if you want, but you're submitting yourself to a higher power, a higher purpose, a higher cause, a metaphysical omnissiah. There's a Warhammer reference. The machine god, the master of mankind, the God emperor of the universe. If you're submitting yourself, nobody has a problem when guys do that. Oh, you're supposed to. It's your duty to. Only in death does duty end. There's another 40K reference. No one has a problem with that. Yes, of course, that's what men are supposed to do. Well, you're supposed to submit. Submit? What?
How dare
How
you?
dare you? Yeah, because we live in a gynocentric social order that prioritizes what, children? Women's 100% authority and 0% responsibility. The vice versa for men. 100% responsibility, 100% submission, and 0% having anything to fucking say about it. And that's the way it's got to be, because that's how I interpreted the Bible. No, that's not how it works. But that's why. So it's rather than using the term submission, I have been using lately, anyways, deference to authority. Because even that sounds a little bit like a poke in the eye, right? But just using the term. It's funny how deference to male authority sounds less bad than female submission. That's how embedded and inculcated into the social fabric the submission word is. It's evil. If the birth control pill was never created, would the Rational Male series not exist? Now, it would. Probably wouldn't be as pronounced, but the butterfly effect. Yeah, the butterfly flaps his wings in Peking and you get a hurricane in Hawaii. Yeah. If and buts were cherries and nuts, it'd be Christmas every day. I don't know. Kind of doesn't make much difference. The fact of the matter is it is. The toothpaste is out of the tube, my friend, and it ain't going back in. Let's cut the BS and call it for what it is for what it is, a gynocentric relationship, marriage, and the tradcon support in order to save the West, not knowing she is only with you out of necessity and not out of genuine desire. See, that's the trick now, isn't it? Genuine desire is always going to be the trick. We'll get to that here in just a second. I keep finding myself looking back at my BPDX photos, videos, even hiding them from the new girl. How do I get over this? You don't. You get rid of the new girl. You seriously, dude, you have not spent enough time away from the other one. Your BPD. Really? That's you haven't done the work yet, my friend. HHH. And I'm just tough love, man. I'm not trying to like knock your dick in the dirt or anything. Even hiding them from the new girl. How do I get over this? She's in the same city, by the way. Oh, why do you feel the need to let me know she's in the same city? Would you like me to tell you why you felt that need? Because you want to go see her and fuck her again. That's basically why. So don't ask permission from Rolo. Get inside your head and say, why the fuck do I still want to fuck this crazy bitch who had BPD? Why am I still attached to this thing? And I'm, by the way, again, no hate, no shame, no, I'm not judging you. I should be judging you, but I'm not, in this case, I'm not going to, because I was in the same position for a long time. And it takes a while to like sort of like wean yourself off of that. That's why you need to go monk mode, dude. Go monk mode. Don't get into another relationship. And it sounds like the chick that you got into a new relationship with is probably very net similar to the one that you just got out of it with. If she's like saying, I don't want you to have any of these girls on your phone, what the fuck is wrong with you? You need time alone, bro. Seriously. And I don't mean like me time. I mean, you just need to like back the fuck up, work on yourself, go to the gym. Tell you what, here's what you do. Would you like me to give you a roll of Tomasi? We'll give you a prescription. It's like, this is wax on, wax off prescription. Okay. Go to the gym and stay Papa Swolio. Go to the gym, go to the fucking gym, go to the gym, go to the gym. What the fuck's wrong with you? Go to the gym, go to the gym, work out, build. If you need TRT, do that. If not, don't. People always say, work on yourself, bro, but they never tell you how or why or what, or, you know, they never give you some sort of like, you know, sort of direction. Here's your direction. Going in the gym for the next 4 months. I'm just saying 4 months, not even 6, 4 months. Commit. Well, when would that be? That would be, let's see, February, March, April, May. Until, let's say, okay, here, until Memorial Day of this year, you don't date, you don't fuck, you don't think about the BPD girl, you dump the chick that you're with right now, and all you do is go into the gym and bust your ass and learn commit yourself, dedicate yourself to getting big and yoked and ripped or whatever it is. I don't care if you're already ripped. Go and do that, because that will be your meditation, right? That'll be your therapy. You want therapy? Here's your therapy. It's a fucking squat rack. Get in it. That's what you do. Do that for 4 months. Then you have permission. You have Rollo Tomasi's permission to leave the gym occasionally and go out and date and go out and see some new chicks. That's your program. Vaya con Dios, man. And that's not just lift, bro. That's wax on, wax off, bro. Hi, Rollo from Sydney, Australia. Unless your name is Sydney. No, it's Earl. Can you talk about how an ex may see, feel, and think about you? And what's with exes today, guys? What the fuck? See, you're giving me fucking indigestion. And or themselves after years of not seeing you and then seeing you somewhat leveled up. The so-called getting revenge back part for men. Okay. Would you like me to talk about revenge? Because that was actually, if you want to meet, here's what you do, Earl. See that link that's right down there in the description? It says Rational Male Substack. The very first article you're going to see is the one I just wrote about revenge. Really, it's called Lex Talionis, which is the law of reprisal, right? Retaliation. That's where the word retaliation, talionis, comes from. The law of reprisal, the law of retaliation. Tooth for a tooth and an eye for an eye. Really, it's revenge, right? And why we feel like we need to have revenge in the first place. So the dynamic, anyways, well, thank you for the $30.99. I suppose that's in Australian dollars, though. What does that come out to? Like $6? No, here's the deal. When it comes to getting big, getting back, the one thing I've always said about revenge is, do you ever see, here's a good example. Have you ever seen The Princess Bride? I know it's a goofy movie, but it's fun. I like it. I like The Princess Bride quite a bit. When Inigo Montoya, God damn, man, I'm getting fucking sciatica here. When Inigo Montoya first fences, and I always love this part because I like to watch I like the fencing. Fences the Dread Pirate Roberts, although it's Robert. One of the things he says is he's giving his background and telling him before he's about to die, right? He's telling him, that he mostly studied fencing and swordplay, but then he's been looking for the six-fingered man, right? Because he wants revenge. Hugo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die. Did that pretty good. But his whole narrative is a revenge narrative. And one of the things he says during that conversation, one of the line of dialogue he says is, it's not much He says, I've been mostly focusing on revenge. He says, but there's not a lot of money in revenge. And he's right. There's not a lot of money in revenge. So if all you're doing is like, the only reason you want to be, this is the way I interpret that is if revenge is your primary motivation for success, the person you're trying to get revenge on is now responsible for your success. That's why when they say, well, the best form of revenge is living well. Well, yeah, but that has to come from here, not from out here. There's a lot of guys who will say, tell me I can't do it. And then they'll do it. And then they'll be like the best, athlete or whatever it is, because everybody tried to tell them they wouldn't amount to shit. And you prove them wrong. You know who's responsible for your success now? Not you, the people who told you ain't shit. And you know what? They're not even 9 times out of 10. Once you get to that point, remember I told you about happiness, how happiness is not a state. It's not a goal state. It's in the process of doing something. The process of building yourself up with the motivation of revenge, right? The idea is this: once I get my revenge, I'll be happy. Once I get my revenge, I'll be content. Once I kill the 6-fingered man, my father will be avenged and I can die happy, right? Or I've completed my quest. And then what? What happens after the quest? What happens after the revolution? What happens after the bitch who wouldn't give you the time of day in high school, and then you easily outstrip her and outrank her and outrank any dude she's ever been with? And you know what? You know what you're going to do? You're going to go, I got my revenge. And then you look back and you look at this chick and you go, why did I think this was so fucking important? Why did I think that revenge was so, how did I let that motivate me to such an extreme level? Maybe it's not so extreme, but the very fact that you get to a point, and I'm not saying you should, I think you should compare yourself to other people. I think we have no other choice but to do that. And I think it's healthy to do so. It's unhealthy to do it like obsessively. Yes. But you can't help but compare yourself to other people. In fact, we're supposed to. That's how you get a good benchmark of where you are, like realistically in life. So when people tell you, don't compare yourself to other people, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Well, if who you were yesterday is a piece of shit and you're marginally less of a piece of shit, congratulations, you're less of a piece of shit. You still can't outrank or beat anybody else. You still can't compete in the real fucking world because you're too busy thinking, oh, I'm just going to think about myself. You know where that comes from? You know where that mentality comes from? It comes from the participation trophy mentality. It's chick speak is what it is. No. Compare yourself to other people. That's male hierarchy right there. Start thinking like a fucking dude. I'm just going to compare myself to myself. What? No. And you can't do that anyways. You're probably not going to do it as it is. This is kind of like a moot point. But when you get into a position of revenge, you get in a position of like, I'm going to do so much better. What was it? The Klingon proverb. Revenge is a dish best served cold. And then what? Once you've got it, then where are you at? The person who if success is the best revenge, and the person who motivated you to that success is somebody you sought vengeance, they're responsible for your fucking success. Fuck that. They're not 9 times out of 10. They're not worth. They're not worth trying to beat, because later on you'll find out that they're so easy to beat. I've had guys who have come to me and said, Rollo, I've always tried to make my father proud. And then I realized he's really kind of a piece of shit. And I went to all this trouble till I went to school. I did this. I got jacked. I made money. I got a hotter chick. I got to drive a better car. And just to make dad proud. And dad was never going to be proud in the first place because dad was kind of like a loser and a scumbag to begin with. Well, congratulations. You're not a scumbag and you're a high value guy, but you're a high value guy because you were trying to make your dad proud, and your dad was never anybody who you should have been trying to make proud in the first place. So same thing applies to women, I would say. It's like, I think a lot of guys, like, they get hammered flat by women in their lives and they think, you know what, fuck this. I'm not going to chase women. I'm going to chase excellence. Well, then once you chase excellence to the point and you realize, why did I think that was so important? The truth is not. So, hey, there we go. Thank you very much. Dan with $100 super chat. Dan S. Thanks for the quick chat in the Vegas airport. Would you like me to tell you this? I'm going to tell the story. You know, I'm going to do this. You keep a low profile. I try to in the Vegas airport. I couldn't do it this time. But not many people with a ponytail and a Raiders hat. Yeah, thank you. I know. I guess I am kind of obvious. Your books filled me in to what the trad cons wouldn't tell me. Post-divorce, I see a lot of potential in Vegas. I'll be back soon. And by the way, Dan, whenever you're in Vegas, no matter what any other red pill influencer tells you, I will gladly have you come down to Access Vegas. You can sit in the green room if I don't put you on to begin with. Anybody who's, by the way, and this is an open invitation for anyone. You want to come to Vegas and you're part of MOA, you're part of my group, you're part of my Patreon, you're part of this chat. I don't care. If you're in Vegas, like Dan was in Vegas, and you want to come see a show, if you want to come to an Access Vegas show, like I said, we're trying to do them weekly now. I will be happy to put you in the green room and you can watch a whole show. You can meet the chicks. You can meet me. You can meet whoever we have on there. Mike for sure. We might even have you come to Zook with us or wherever we go afterwards, assuming you stick around that long. We're always happy to have like guests come and hang out at the studio. Hell, we're paying a top dollar for Sticky Pots, so you might as well come down and enjoy it too. But it's all the invitation is always open to everybody. And Dan, I was hoping Dan said, "Oh, I could." Another red pill influencer said that Rolo wouldn't talk to me. Well, wrong. Wait a minute. Wait. Wrong. So where's Rolo coming up with all this? I was in TSA, the TSA line flying back from Vegas to Reno, and Dan was behind me. And I'm fucking around like waiting in line to get to the next, waiting for everybody to get through the damn bonehead security, right? And he taps me from behind, and he's a tall dude. He's taller than I. And he's like, "I'm sorry, excuse me, but are you Rolo Tomasi?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah." And whenever that happened, that's not the only time this happened, but like whenever that happens, it's okay if I kind of welcome it if I'm in a club, if I'm at like the Wynn, or if I'm at MGM, or if I'm at any of the casinos or the resorts or something like that. I'm happy to talk to you. When I am in TSA, what happens is this is like people go, "Oh yeah, are you Rolo Tomasi?" "Yeah, I am." Blah. Then like everyone who's like maybe three steps ahead and 3 steps behind, they're like, they're all looking at me like, "Is this guy important? Is he somebody I should know?" Like, no, I'm only important on the internet, really. Really. Thank you. But so Dan hits me up and we talked pretty, and I don't mind talking to people. It's just like the people who are like sort of the looky-loos behind me or whatever, then of course they have questions. "Well, what is it that you do?" And now I got to explain, "Oh, I'm one of those red pill guys." That's what I have. "You mean like Pearl?" That's the next thing out of that. "I hate that bitch." For a guy who gets no hose, Rolo Tomasi don't get no hose, man.
Man, Rolo Tomasi don't get no hose, man.
He sure knows a lot about landpipe. Very funny. Overheard at Rolo Tomasi School Blowing. Very good. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for your sense of humor. FYI, Bob, in a gynocentric relationship, it starts with equality in what they call compatibility and then becomes companionship. We do everything the same until the end. She has authority. She has authority before any of that happens. What's funny is, and I've been looking at some videos, like usually it's TradCon women who are bringing this up too, of all people. But I think it's probably just because they're looking for content. But the idea is this, is that, women have, they're the gatekeepers of sex. Yeah. And they're the gatekeepers of relationships, which I tend to agree with. I'm finally glad that some other people are coming around to that estimate. So, by the way, whenever you hear somebody say, "Oh, those red pill guys say that women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers of commitment," I don't think they're right. Well, congratulations. You fucking played yourself, because I don't think they're right either. I've said for a very long time, and by the way, I wasn't the first to do this. I'm just reiterating what Roosh said from back in the day. One of those red pill guys, Roosh, formerly, the artist formerly known as Roosh, said the same thing. women are the ones who actually decide whether a relationship is going to take place. And when women decide that they don't want to be in that relationship anymore, women are far more likely to break up with a guy than a guy is to break up with a woman. Why is that? Well, because 80% of men are sexless or are unattractive. If you think about it just from statistics, you look at it in a numbers situation. If we just use the round numbers, if we just use the general idea that 80% of men are deemed unattractive by women, that puts at least 80% of men in the not gonna fuck category. And those guys have to figure out how to get out of the not gonna fuck category. And yeah, these are the guys that Ho Math will say the not people. those are the not people, which was humorous way of saying they're the 80%ers, right? So the 80% of guys who are not going to get laid, not gonna get no hoes. Yeah, 80%ers don't get no hoes. They have to figure out a workaround. They have to figure out an end run. Usually it's by providing higher value. Usually it's like doing something that is appreciable, that it's going to make you money or whatever. You're still dealing with women on a transactional nature, not on a validational nature. But you know, sex is sex when you're complete, when otherwise you wouldn't be fucking, right? So you have the 80%ers, and you've got guys who have to figure out how to get out of that 80 percentile. So if that's the case, then you've got, let's see if I can pull this up here. Okay, so if that's the case, then you've got 80% of guys who will do not do anything, but they are still they're in a different frame of mind than guys who are in the 20%. And the 20% of guys are the dudes who are not necessarily remember, 20% of guys aren't attractive. They're just not unattractive. And that needs to be something that is sort of coordinated, but then or understood, I should say. But then so you've got guys who or women who will say, well, you know, women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers of commitment. Only if they're in that 20%. Only if they have something, only if they're men that women would want to commit to in the first place. And increasingly, as women become more and more empowered and femme-powered, even if it's just perceptually, they don't even have to actually be empowered. They just have to have the perception that they ought to be entitled and ought to be empowered. What that happens is that perception then feeds into this sense of self-worth. And then that sense of self-worth says, well, I don't want to get with a guy who's even in the 20%. Because he's not unattractive, but he's not like somebody I'm going to be on ride or die for. Right? So if that's the case, men, even in that 20th percentile, are still not determining whether or not their commitment is going to be something that's accepted or not accepted. It's women who actually are the ones who decide whether or not they're going to get into a relationship with a guy. And more we're seeing that women don't want to get into it. Just listen to anything Ho Math has to say or anything Aaron Clary has to say, particularly when it comes to statistics and numbers and analysis kind of thing. So, and by the way, I highly suggest, if you haven't seen it yet, go look at the interview between Mike Sartain and Aaron Clary, which happened. It just went live, I think, last week or week before. Fan-fucking-tastic, man. And it's classic. It's classic Aaron Clary. If you know Cappy is Captain Capitalism, Aaron Clary, not a homosexual. If you know who Aaron is, he's part of Rule Zero. I've known Aaron since 2012. I knew Aaron right after he wrote Worthless, about worthless degrees. That's when I became aware of Aaron Clary. I knew Aaron Clary when in Malafide, that aggregate blog, or it was Malafide, and it was and the Spearhead. Anybody remember the Spearhead? Well, those were old blogs that are now defunct, of course. But I'm pretty sure that's where I encountered Aaron. I think it was either the Spearhead or in Malafide. Completely gone, by the way. Don't go looking for. I mean, you could probably find them on Wayback Machine, but don't even Return of Kings. Poof. But I remember back in 2012 talking about stuff like this with Aaron. But yeah, women are the gatekeepers of commitment, especially now. If they weren't before, they certainly are now. Are they the gatekeepers of sex? Yes, they are also the gatekeepers of sex. What are you going to do about it? That's really the question. Doesn't matter who's like in control or not. It's like, what do you, if that's the rules of the game, if that's the rules of engagement, how are you going to be a superior player in that game? Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. America only reads when it can educate themselves on parrot statements, which fuel a paper degree. Yeah. They study for the test. Yes. We fail because most don't enjoy learning conflicting language or knowledge. Fiction is preferred versus conflicted. Preferred versus conflicted. Yeah. Fiction is preferred versus conflicted. It's a little weird to say. Yeah, I would say so. I would also say it's where you're dealing with the TLDR generation, which is also the ADHD generation, which is also the Asperger's generation, which is also the autism generation. You're dealing with a lot of short attention spans, no matter what. And I hate to, I don't want to say like wholesale that Marquette Burton from Saint and Sinner, who I love like a brother, by the way. I hate to say he's right, but he's right. People don't read. They just don't read these days. The majority don't. It's not saying nobody reads. People do read, obviously, but not the way they used to, and not the topics and the subjects and everything. How many people really read for pleasure? Like they really enjoy reading. The people who will say that they enjoy reading are usually people who read fiction. And I like fiction. I think fiction can teach just as much as like nonfiction can. You just have to be open to the I'll give you an example. If you read Dune, like Frank Herbert's Dune, the first book, just the one book, just read the first original Dune that they are presently butchering in film form. But if you read that and you read it quote for quote, there's actually a Twitter, it's called Dune Bot or Dune Quote Bot, I think is what it is on Twitter. It's an account and it's basically nothing but quotes from that book. They might have like the other sequels too, but like mainly they're from that book. And you wouldn't even know they're from a work of fiction. They sound like proverbs. They sound like Confucius say. They sound like the Tao Te Ching, right? They sound like words of wisdom because Herbert was a very wise man. And I thought I love Dune. Dune is probably one of my favorite all-time works of fiction, next to like it's up there with Lord of the Rings for sure. But you can learn a lot from fiction. And so people reading fiction, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, but the problem is like, if you look at published authors, whenever I look at like, what is it? Well, Audible's one, but I subscribe to, and I have my books already loaded on goodreads.com. And the reason I did that is because Goodreads provides way better reviews and they have a better rating system than Kindle Direct or Kindle, which is Amazon. Amazon's review process, like review of anything, but certainly books, review is completely like fuckered. It is. It has been for some time because you can't downvote comments. You can only say, was this helpful or what? Was this helpful? That's all you can say. You can only upvote on things. You can give a 2-star review, but you can't react to that and say, this is bullshit. And you can't say, well, if somebody gives a 5-star review, you can't go, well, this is kind of bullshit too. You can't downvote anything. You can only upvote things, which is ludicrous. So if you were looking for like really good literary critiques and reviews and stuff, go to Goodreads. I think it's goodreads.com. But yeah. A husband should submit to God. A wife should submit to her husband, and children should submit to the wife. Take me out with the I'm a whore. Yeah. Would you like me to show you? Do I have that loaded? I don't know if I have that. By the way, that whole concept that you just described is in this book as well. You know what? I'm going to call those up really quick. Those are too good not to use. I have some diagrams. I'll dig it up here. I'm about to show you another video here. I'll dig it up while I'm showing you the video. Let's see. Are hollow cheeks attractive to women? Hollow cheeks? I don't know what hollow cheeks are. Tell me what did I miss that? I like your Greyhound though. Hollow cheeks. That's probably like some obvious thing. Rollo's old. He doesn't know what hollow cheeks are. Oh, I have no idea. Sorry. Hey, Rollo, when approaching, how do I deal with the hot girls fat best friend fridge protecting the snacks and cock blocks. You pull. Here's how would you like to know? You learn from the best. You know who the best is at diffusing cock blocks? Justin Waller. Sorry, Jay, I'm gonna sell you out here. Justin Waller's fantastic when it comes to like diffusing cock blocks because he's a good-looking guy. No homo. He's a good-looking guy, right? All he has to do is just put that like Southern charm on you, and man, women just melt. And that means the fat friend too. So really what you do is, at least this is the Justin Waller approach as far as I'm able to determine, you ingratiate yourself with the fat friend. You don't sell the fat friend on, I'm going to fuck you, because obviously that's not going to happen. But you dance with the fat friend first, and then you dance with the hot girl who's your target. Right? You go and you spin her, because no dude is going to ask the fat friend out to the dance floor, right? But the fine 6'4", gentleman built like a brick shit house who goes and gets the sweet old lady, or the 45-year-old soccer mom, or the fat friend or something. He doesn't even have to be the fat friend. It could be dancing out of, like, say, a courtesy, a masculine courtesy. And I've seen, I hate to use Jay as an example, but I've seen Jay do this where we've been at events and stuff. And Jay will tell me, I'm going to go dance with that girl right there. I'm like, that girl? He's like, yeah, watch. So he goes out and dances with some girl who's like, probably like, gives a cheap thrill to a woman who would otherwise never be able to like dance with a guy that looks like him. And he can fucking dance too, by the way. He can, like a country boy, he can dance. And he knows his shit, right? He goes out there, does that. And every hot girl that is within earshot that can like see what's going on now suddenly just gets gina tingles, because that guy took the time to go dance with a chick that every other hot chick in the room realizes he's like so crazily out of her league. He's just doing it because he's a cool dude. He's a good guy. So if you did that with the fat friend, okay, but you don't even have to do it with the fat friend. You just do it with the fat friend is watching, and you go and you do something. It doesn't have to be dancing, but like in this case it was. You don't have to go do that, but like if you're going to go and ingratiate yourself to somebody that you wouldn't necessarily like ingratiate yourself with, that the best friend sees that, the fat friend says that, and she gives her, vaya con Dios, you have my blessing, go fuck him tonight. You can have the same night lay with this guy. That's how you diffuse that. I know it sounds bonehead stupid, but it really works. I think the reason for gynocentrism is that women will stand up for women, but men won't necessarily stand for men. Yes, because they want the pussy. They want what?
Well, I'm a whore.
That's nasty. It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty? Oh,
nasty pussy paradise. Yeah, you'd be right about that. I would also say that you got to remember that men, just like evolutionary speaking, men are always going to be competing with one another. That's what we do. We compete. That's why we have hierarchies. That's why there's the CEO and the COO and the CFO and the lieutenant and the master at arms and the sergeant and the corporal and the private and on down the chain of command. That's why we have that, because men are competitive, and that's why we establish rank, like formally hierarchy. We will always compete with one another. Can we cooperate for a greater good? Yes, absolutely we can. But there has to be structure and organization amongst men. For women, women will back up women no matter what, because women are far more socialist. I'll say it. They're more socialist. They're more communitarian. They're more egalitarian. That seems like a good way to structure society. Egalitarianism seems like a great way to structure society. And it probably would be in a perfect fucking world where men didn't have to do jack shit, but we do. Women simply average women simply do not understand the sacrifices that men have to make to facilitate their reality. Straight out of my book. I want to throw her back on again. I don't think I do. I have something else to look at. I need to get into the main topic today. My God. Did I talk to her? Oh God. God damn it. Brian, what are you fucking doing? Brian from whatever podcast is calling me right now. Brian, I'm doing a show, bro. Thanks, man. I'm doing a show kind of right now. I will talk to you later, Brian. It's cool. It's all good. Rolo sold us out to Lisa Sparks. That Lisa Sparks, the porn girl? You know what I'm going to do? If I see Lisa Sparks at AVN, just for you, Fuddrucker, I'm going to go do a video with her. Lisa Sparks. No, that wasn't the one. Where did it go? Okay, here we go. Jesus Christ. No, that one's too funny. That's not the one I wanted. I'm looking at my videos here. Hang on. What's this? Oh, here. Is this one?
There's something really interesting. It's the bad.
Sorry, not that one. Hang on. Sorry, I can't. When I'm looking for these, I don't get to see the preview before they go on. Brian, I want to talk to you. I do, really. But dude, I'm kind of like, call me. What do I got right now? How long am I about? Call me in another hour and a half, man, and then we'll talk. I just got a phone call. See, this is what I get for not putting my phone on like do not disturb. Rollo, how come I can't talk to you? How come I can't text you during the show? Because I'm doing a fucking show. Oh God. Did you guys see the Prison Brides video I put in at the beginning? I would put it in again, but I'm afraid I'm going to get like, I'm probably already going to get a shot for it. Oh, here we go. And a 1 and a 2.
Seemingly confirming what was apparently an open secret in South Carolina. New reporting from the Daily Mail alleges former governor and current GOP hopeful Nikki Haley had affairs with her communications consultant and a married lobbyist prior to becoming the Palmetto State's chief executive. Two eyewitnesses, Will Folks and Larry Marchant, signed affidavits in 2010 alleging they had a sexual relationship with Haley before she went on to become governor. Haley has previously denied the affairs, though GOP insiders in South Carolina allege the affairs were, quote, brazen and widely known.
Well, I'm a whore.
So, Jessica, this, as mentioned in the opener, were considered open secrets in South Carolina that Nikki Haley had been philandering around the state with members of her party before becoming governor. And I've even heard allegations that it continued while she was governor. Now, her husband is in the military and is deployed on occasion, which would give her opportunity. Of course, legally, you have to be careful about what you say. She has denied.
And you bitches want to vote for her. Really? God, this is too good. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Affairs. But this Daily Mail report apparently has access to these 2010 sworn affidavits that were previously not available to the public. And in addition, they talked to people from South Carolina who claimed that this was basically done quite brazenly.
What?
This is a quote from the Daily Mail article. Multiple GOP insiders told DailyMail.com that they were
I have no idea who this bitch is, but I really want to see the guitars that she has in the back, hanging in the back there.
Intimately aware of Haley's infidelity as a South Carolina lawmaker, including tales of steamy liaisons in the back of her Cadillac SUV, canoodling
SUV in mama's kid carrier, my soccer mom's kid carrier,
and her lovers' laps at bars and nights spent together in a Columbia, South Carolina duplex.
That's nasty. It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty?
The 2010 affidavits, including the one from Folks, say that he engaged in an inappropriate physical relationship that included numerous instances of inappropriate sexual conduct. Says he first kissed Haley in a car in early 2007 and that they had regular trysts in her apartment in
To give a woman vote is like to let a monkey fly a plane. Very dangerous.
Downtown Columbia. And the allegations go on, but this is also not the first time that we have heard about allegations that she has been unfaithful to her husband. Pedro Gonzalez reported, I think over a year ago, that she had allegedly been having an affair with Corey Lewandowski, I'm thinking of Christine.
Corey Lewandowski, all right.
No, that is not Nikki Haley. But anyway.
Yeah, she dropped that in there on purpose.
I digress. Kristi Noem was accused of having an affair with Corey Lewandowski.
Who?
Who was one of her top advisors. But these South Carolina trysts are apparently, again, an open secret. And I just am kind of baffled that it took this long for them to really be reported publicly. Previously, these affidavits were only covered in very specific local media outlets in South Carolina. I don't know if the media was concerned about being sued, or maybe Boeing just had their missiles trained on any opposition researcher in politics over the past 2 decades. But it seems like, of course, an opportune time for this to drop now, as she's closing the gap on Donald Trump in New Hampshire, supposedly, and is trying to take the nomination away from him. But I don't know. What do you think? Are you surprised to hear about this, Jessica? And do you think the accusations are more likely than not? Or, I mean, what's your take on it?
I would say.
All right, hold on. Before Jessica gets to tell us her take, what do you think the take is going to be? Come on. What do you think the take is going to be on this? What's it going to be? Come on, tell me. Just give me a drop it, man. I know it's going to happen. Come on. I already know. I haven't seen, like, what do you think? I'm looking. Here's what's going to happen. Oh, I can't believe how horrible this is. Of course, everybody wants her out because she's an annoying bitch, right? Got it. Okay, Nikki Haley. But again, you know what they're going to do? They're going to defensive slut. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Ding, 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 ding. That's it. Finish her. Yes, defensive slut. Right. So here's what's going to happen. Well, why is it when a man gets run up the flagpole, like, oh, why is it that when Donald Trump can have sex with a porn star, or what was it? Stormy Daniels. Why can't he have sex with Stormy Daniels? But she can't have, I don't know, sex in the back seat of the minivan.
The accusations are more likely than not, in my opinion, when you get this kind of firsthand testimony on the record.
Jessica Burbank, guest co-host. Are those her guitars, or are those her boyfriend's guitars?
About the affair happening, and people saying things like, well, it was completely out in the open. So it sounds like there's no hesitation for going on the record and saying this. Of course, you know,
if it's out in the open, how come we're just hearing about it now?
No, when there's cases where the accusations are false and people repeat them and they say them to the media, there's the potential for a defamation lawsuit.
Yep. Unless they're true.
And the fact that these sources were so confident that they were willing to go to the papers, to the press, and say, actually, no, this happened a ton. We all saw it.
All right. So, Nikki Haley. Really? Nikki. All right. Would you do Nikki Haley? Would you? Let's just say, would you do Nikki Haley if she could bake a cake? Yeah. Well, what? I'll tell you the interesting thing. I was just talking about this recently. Is was it Cuomo? Andrew Cuomo? Who was the guy who was the governor? Was it of New York during the C-19 pandemic? And he was the guy that I think it's Cuomo, who was he was responsible for like the old folks home deaths, or he was like implicated in that. Am I right? Was it Mario Cuomo or Andrew Cuomo? Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo gets at least implicated anyways in the deaths of God knows how many of these elderly people in in assisted living facilities. And ask me how I know, because my mother died in an assisted living facility. Ask me about that sometime. I don't really like to talk about that on there. But that's not what got him to step down as the governor. It wasn't how he handled C-19. It wasn't how the pandemic. It wasn't the fact that he was implied in the deaths of God knows how many elderly people. It was a sex scandal. That's what got him ousted. Is that what it was? Cuomo advises altered report on COVID-19 nursing home deaths. Yeah, of course, I'm sure. The fact of the matter is he didn't get ousted because of the nursing home deaths. He got ousted because of a sex scandal. So why is Nikki Haley still even in the running? Why are we even having this talk with her about her? And I'll tell you the thing that's going to happen. And the reason why I was joking around and I was asking about this is because there is a separate standard of justice for women that men are not allowed to enjoy. As I said, being implicated, at least, in nursing home deaths during 2020 is less bad than a sex scandal for a man. Now, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Nikki Haley and all this. Now, of course, why is this happening now? Because she's closing the gap with Trump in Utah or wherever. Can we just fucking get past all, just stop? Everybody who's trying to run against Trump, just stop. Save us the time. We need to go back to the Super Bowl or the playoffs. I want to see the Niners go, okay? I don't want to have to think about this bullshit because we already know who the fucking front runner is going to be, and we already know who's the only person who's going to be satisfy the masses. We already know that. We know it. Why is this even an issue? Because the chicks want to make it an issue. Vivek, Santorum, whatever, DeSantis, Santorum. No, Santorum was actually from Nevada. DeSantis. Yeah, DeSantis is shot, man. Which sucks too, because I kind of like DeSantis. But I don't know. I hate to get I don't want to get political, but I mean, can we just call a spade a spade? I'm just stop. If you're trying to run against Trump, just stop. Just walk. Here's the door. Save us a lot of time. Save us this bullshit, but they're not. They're going to take, we need the commercials for the debates that are never going to happen. So yeah, got it. Thanks. Go back to the Super Bowl. Go back to your beer. Go back to your beer commercials. Yeah. I like DeSantis. I thought he actually had some potential. We need a president who's under the age of 70. That's what we need. We need a 21st century candidate is what we need. I can't even believe Biden is even still a thing. I don't think he's going to be. I mean, I could be wrong. But the guy is he's just not there. He's just it's he's in a vegetative state. He doesn't do anything. You trust me, if it comes down to Biden and Trump this year, there ain't gonna be no debate. There'll be no debates. Guy can't even string two sentences together without drooling all over himself. Here's why. The thing that bugs me, and I hate to do this because this is an aside and I really don't do this, but my father died in 2010 due to complications of Alzheimer's dementia. I know what it looks like. I dealt with my dad for probably 6 or 7 years before he finally passed. Anyone who has dealt with an elderly parent who has had Alzheimer's or dementia, goddamn well the signs of all that cognitive decline. And every last sign that you've probably seen in your own parents is expressed in spades in Joe Biden. So when I hear somebody like Tucker Carlson or Tim Pool or even people who are against Biden and stuff, you could tell that they're seriously not on that side of the political aisle. And they refer to him as well, Biden did this today, and Biden made this decision today, and boy, the Biden administration, they're really doing this, and this is how they've handled that, and this. No, he didn't. He didn't handle any of that shit, and he didn't handle any of that shit. His handlers did. The people who clean him up with a napkin and okay, go back to talking about, I don't know, ice cream cone, whatever. He doesn't do anything because he's not cognitively capable of doing anything. So even people who are ostensibly on the opposite side of the Biden fence, just by saying legitimizing this guy by saying that he actually has the cognitive ability to actually think of legislation and sign it into no, he doesn't. Stop playing along with the bullshit. These are the same people who say, well, I don't want to pander to the troons, for lack of a better, the transams, because they're just expecting us to play along with their insanity. Yeah, you're doing the same thing. You're doing exactly the same thing. You're playing along. You're playing into the bullshit. You're role playing. You're LARPing. It's like a fucking Renaissance fair, and you don't want to break character. Oh, he's doing something today. No, he's not. Stop it. Get help. Okay, so I don't I don't like to talk politics, but I did bring this up with Jedediah Bila, so I'm off the hook. On one of her shows, I brought this up at one point. I said, I don't understand why anybody even like is still legitimizing this. I think the reason for gynecentrism. Okay, sorry, that's not it. And flip flop, what you got? As someone mentioned in Access Vegas, the low to mid women are notoriously difficult to deal with. Yes. Is it because of low self-esteem or lack of validation? No, it's because of, and by the way, this is, brilliant effort on the part of Homath. He just, right before showtime, just prior to showtime, he released a video on the I'm a 10 dynamic or I'm a 10 phenomenon. Now, what is that? Well, whenever you look at, say, whatever podcast, or you look at, well, hell, even our podcast, but certainly like on Myron and Fresh's podcast, on Fresh and Fit, or anything else that they're doing for that matter. When they ask, okay, ladies, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with the exception of Access Vegas, thank you very much. Pretty much every girl on those shows says, I'm a 10. Yeah, you go. High five, girl. That's what they do. And Homath in a very uncharacteristic, lengthy 14.5-minute video, because he usually does way shorter than that, goes into great detail about why that dynamic exists in the first place, like why women want to build themselves up. And it's usually, and I agree with him, it's usually because you're looking at mid chicks. Mid chicks think they're 10s. Girls who are like 9s and 10s, like the girls we have on Access Vegas, yes, they are. The girls who are doing bottle service, the girls who get hired to be atmosphere models at clubs and at Vegas pools and at Nikki Beach Club, and the girls that you think, oh, this is where the hot girls hang out. No, they're paid to hang out there. Just saying. Those girls who can get paid to just show up and be cheerful and smile and push their big expensive titties out, those girls don't rate themselves as 10s. They say, I'm an 8. I'm an 8.5. I don't think we have ever, when we've asked that question, I don't think we've ever had any girl say that they were a 10. Some of them like will say like, fucking A, I can't even believe this too. Like, I think we asked this like not too long ago on Amber Rose, who I love, not the bald headed Amber Rose, the Penthouse Pet of the Month, December 2022, who I love. She was like, oh, I'm a 7. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You are not a 7. But the reason why they say that is because they have a much more realistic understanding of like physical beauty, because they're always around other women who are of the same caliber. And they'll fall into this, it seems like it's self-deprecation. It's not really self-deprecation so much as it's sort of a pragmatic realism, because if their girlfriends, who are also very good looking girls, if they get the spot at being an atmosphere model or a bottle girl or something like that, and the other girl didn't, she goes, oh, okay, she must be just slightly hotter than me. That's why she got the job and I didn't, because I know I'm hot and I've got these jobs before, but Becky got it instead of Jen, right? And they tend, like, the hotter the girl, the more realistic that woman tends to be in her own self-estimate when it comes to like her value on the sexual marketplace. I'm not saying personal worth, ladies, but in the sexual market. Now, the opposite is true for women who are, let's say, 4s, 5s, and 6s. They think that they're 10s because there's been this pervasive culture that has said, you always stay on top, you always be positive, or they believe in this horseshit lie that like beauty is some sort of subjective, culturally motivated, socially constructed phenomenon. It's not. It's objective. It's measurable. It's easy to find. It's easy to compare a woman who is a 5 versus a woman who looks like Amber Rose or looks like fucking Michelle Martin, who was a fucking hammer. And we're all simping. Oh, for Michelle Martin, you're goddamn right, man. You're goddamn right. Yes, I'm just being real. She's a smoke show, and I don't even like to use. I hate that term. So it's a smoke show. She's a very physically attractive woman. I didn't say she's the sharpest tool in the shed. Well, she's smart enough. I love her. But physically, yeah, But even Michelle Martin, I think she rated herself like a 8 or a 9, not a 10. They never go. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard a girl say that she's a 10, at least not on our show. But I heard them all the time refer to themselves as 10s on whatever and on Fresh and Fit. So, yeah. Would you like to know what my rule is? I'll tell you what, because I think that I think that every guy on the has a different kind of 10 scale. For me, thigh gap is everything. Thigh gap defines the threshold, is the breaking point. Ladies, if you have a definable thigh gap, you are going to be at the very least an 8 on the Tomasi scale. There's no such thing as a perfect 10 because, well, at least there's no such thing as a perfect 10 that you haven't slept with, because the last point to half a point is earned on performance. So the most I'll give you is like a 9, maybe a 9.5. I'm trying to think of examples. I always ask, like, people will say, oh, those girls are average. Those aren't real girls. Those girls are plastic. They've got fake boobies. Okay, well, if that's the case, I like natural girls. Okay, send me a picture or link me, I don't care, a picture of a girl that you think is more attractive than Elizabeth Chevalier, or who is more attractive than Jamie Villamore, or Jamie Lynn for that matter. Jamie Lynn's annoying as fuck, but she is hot. I'll give her that. I'm trying to think of the really super Maya Allegra. Show me a girl that's you think is hotter than Maya Allegra. There might be. Show me. They never do. Oh, this girl has fake boobs. I like natural tits. Okay, show me a picture of a woman that you think that we should get on the show and we should put under the microscope on Access Vegas that you think is naturally hotter than the girls that we have on. I'm still waiting. And I've been doing this for over a year now. I'm still waiting on that picture. Still waiting on those references. Still hasn't shown up yet. Sancho Bohemian, I will support him because I see past scapegoating. Thank you. Plus, I don't like being handed free stuff. I work hard to get back everything, and I'll never stop. There you go. Good for you. You the man. You know what? Here, you can have that. Sydney Sweeney. Hold on. Sydney Sweeney. American actress. You really think she's hotter? She's got kind of like a baby face, though. Like, there's no, like, okay, so hold on. You said Sydney Sweeney. Here you go. Here's that attention you wanted. I want it too, because I want to look at this really fast. Oh, wait, that's not it. Hold on. Here we go. Let's share the screen here. Sydney Sweeney Google search image search here. Okay, this is what I get. Just what I just got. Who's the dude she's with? Okay, these are all headshots and face shots. So I need more body shot. Like, this is the only body shot within the first like few returns here. All right. Okay. I mean, on the Tomasi scale, I'll give her a 7.5. Okay, maybe an 8. Do you think those titties are real, or are they implants? Is that work done? Is work done on those boobies? Let's see. Probably. Girls who are this thin usually don't have tits this big. Just saying. I'll call it like I see it. Yeah, she's had work. Definitely had work. Is there anything else here? I get I love this. Like, people, what is this called? Tasteful Lindy. Tasteful Lindy right there. Yeah. How old is she? How old is Sydney? She's not bad. Let's see here. Oh, she's in Handmaid's Tale. She's in Handmaid's Tale? Euphoria. 26 years old. She looks older than 26. Am I wrong in thinking this? She looks way older than 26. But I don't know. Maybe she's like trying to cultivate a more mature look. She doesn't look. Okay, maybe she looks 26 right here. Is that her? Yeah, it is. She looks younger there, but she still has that kind of like, is that resting bitch face, do you think? Maybe. And then when she smiles, she should smile more. She's all right. Okay, I see what you mean. I'll give it to you. Okay, you get a point for that one. She's all right. All right. You know what? I did not put dark mode on. There we go. God, man, StreamYard for the thank you for, by the way, I got to catch StreamYard doing something good. They actually responded to what I said, and I think Tiffany Fox and some other people, I think depending on what platform you were on, like I'm on a Mac and I run Chrome, and I gave them a list of the extensions I use on Chrome, and they fixed it. They fixed the problem. Bravo. It's just as important to catch people doing something good as it is to catch them doing something bad. So, bravo. I'm going to stick with StreamYard. The only complaint I still have from 2018 to 2024, why the fuck is there no dark mode? Because here, look. Okay, so look at my face. Look at my face. This is with I have to use an extension to do this because it's not available. A dark mode is still not available in StreamYard. This is with it out. Okay? With it, without it. I go to such lengths to light up my beautiful guitars and my background and everything else, only to be ruined and thwarted by my 38-inch monitor, curved monitor, and my other little one over here, because you don't have a dark mode. All right. Where was that other one I was going to get to today? It is right here. Oh, all right. So we've already seen. Let me give you the preamble here. I gotta set the layup here. We've already seen the Nikki Haley video. Okay, so just wanted to throw that out there that all of the trad wives and the trad girls and all these girls are coming at me, trying to give me grief about coming at Sovereign Bra, Chase Sovereign Bra, which or now that I think about it, that's probably why Brian was calling me. Well, Chase wants to have a talk with you. Here's what you can do, Brian. I think I know what you're going to say. So let me see if I can I'm going to see if I can read your mind here for a second. It's probably you're coming at me. I don't know. Do you leave me a message? Let me see. Did you leave me a phone message? You could just leave me a message, dude. It's okay. Oh, he did. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, this isn't him, though. No, that's not it. Hold on a second. I thought you would have left me a message at the very least. Tiffany, go away, Tiffany. No, here's what I think you're probably calling me about, Brian. And the answer is yes, I'll be happy to do this because I think you probably want me to go and have some sort of debate with Chase, probably me and Myron too. If you could get Myron to do it, you probably would. I already talked to Myron about this too. I'll probably go do his show. You're probably asking me to do some sort of debate with Chase. I will be glad to do that the minute he cops to the fact that he is deliberately being ambiguous, because that's what these guys do. Well, it's what these girls do too. They deliberately stay as ambiguous as possible when they start making these accusations, and they call out those red pill guys. I have been harping on this for at least the last 6 months. Those red pill guys. I want a fucking t-shirt that says that red pill guy. That's what somebody make me that t-shirt, send it to me. I'll give you the shipping address. That red pill guy. Fuck, I'm just going to make it myself. Sticker Mule will do it for me. That red pill guy. That's what they do. And the reason why they do that is because it gives them anonymity, or they think it does. It gives them plausible deniability. I wasn't talking about Rolo. You were talking about spinning fucking plates. Where is that? Oh, it's in this book? Yeah. Do you even know what that is? Did you even read the 5 fucking chapters on plate theory in the first book? Probably not. And I'll tell you why these guys set it up this way. And by the way, Chase isn't I shouldn't just harp entirely on Chase. You want me to bring Glenn? I'll bring Glenn. Glenn would do all the talking. Are you kidding? If I brought Glenn on that show, I would never get a word in edgewise. Yes, I love your Greyhound too, by the way. What is this? Veronica Rajek. Okay, hold on. I'll look her up in a second. Hold that thought. Is that why girls in non-Western countries are more attractive, tend to be much more stuck up? Yeah. Yes. The short answer, yes. Let me go back here. All right, gotcha. So The reason why I figured this out finally, although I figured it out a long time ago, but I figured this out finally. The reason why you'll see these guys say, those red pill guys, or this dumb bitch, where'd it go? This chick right here. Hold on. I used this earlier today. God, Nikki Haley, that was so funny. I could have just done a whole show on her. Not you. Her. This girl. There we go.
Just commit to one and choose to be faithful to her.
I'm just not wired that way. I spent my whole 20s trying to fix myself. Thought
But you're
something
a
was
man
wrong
of
with me.
self-control. You work.
Okay. This was not Justin. Justin got blindsided on this. Just I want just full disclosure. I talked to Justin right after this whole thing went down. Justin was like, he hit me up. He said, what should I have done differently? I'll tell you about that conversation in a minute. But the point of this whole snarky bullshit right here is based on confident ignorance.
Work out, you do business.
That's not how I am.
Think that might be a limited mindset?
I think it's none of your business, but
Yeah, you'll also notice that by the way, this exchange is much longer than the 45-second little TikTok clip that's going on here. And you can see jump cut after jump cut after jump cut. To do what? To make him look as bad as possible, because that's the fucking environment we're in right now. Rolo, how come you won't come on my show? Rolo, Vice wants me to do an interview with them. I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it. I don't think so, because I know what will happen. It's not about the actual document. They want to do like this documentary on like the manosphere or like the state of masculinity, which by the way is exactly what the producers at fucking Dr. Phil told me right before they threw me on there with that one kid. What's his name? The kind of spurgy guy that was on Ben. They put me on there right following up Ben, and I've got to go and be Andrew Tate apologist for like 2 fucking hours on that show, right? Oh, I think I did pretty well on that, but they saw, I can show you. I still have it, actually. I still have the outline of what was supposed to be on the show. It's nothing like what was on the show. Zilch. You know why? Because they don't care about the show. They care about the clips. Everything is clips. If you can think of this and people go, oh, hey, should I go on Flagrant 2? Should I go on Joe Rogan? Should I go on Lex Friedman? Should I go on all? I'm like, you can do that. But understand, they're going to put you in the worst possible light if you are in some way like diametrically, ideologically opposed to whatever they have to say. Just go in there with the foreknowledge that they're going to run you up the flagpole. The only reason you're there is to get the clips, and they will farm the clips. They will mine that entire 2 hours, 3 hours, however long you spent for those clips, because they know that no one is going to watch the whole thing. Or let's just say this. Far, like an order of magnitude less people are going to watch the entirety of that documentary or the interview than are going to be affected and that are going to draw conclusions from a 30-second, 45-second buzz clip like this that is just ripped and stitched together like a patchwork of bad clothing.
But I don't want you to think I'm triggered by you. I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're triggered, dude. And this is
No, you're triggered, dude. That's the whole reason for that clip. That's the entire reason for that clip. No, dude, you're triggered.
really where the whole red pill movement thing breaks down, man. Because the red pill movement says...
The red pill movement says what?
Hey, as a man, I want to be everything that I can possibly be.
No, it doesn't, dumb fuck. It has nothing to do with male self-improvement. The red pill is about a praxeology. That praxeology is based on intersexual dynamics. What you're talking about is male self-improvement. What you're talking about is a hustle. What you're talking about is not the praxeology of the red pill that has been around since you were fucking watching Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents. It's been around way longer than you will even ever know. It didn't just crop up like a year ago. It didn't crop up with Andrew Tate. The red pill does not begin and end with Andrew Tate and Pearl Davis. It doesn't even begin and end with me. And I've been doing this shit for like 22 years now. So how about I tell you what the red pill is, and you sit there and fucking listen like a goddamn student.
I want to improve myself to the maximum possible potential that I have inside of me.
That's a practice. That is not a praxeology. That is a best practice. And even still, you fail.
But I want to leave faithfulness one of the core tenets of being a good man.
Why? Why would faithfulness be a core tenet of being a good man? Why would not mental point of origin be a core tenet? Do you even know what the fuck that is? No, you don't. Why? By the way, I got into this conversation with Jessie Preston too. And she was just like looking at me like she didn't know, like I was speaking Swahili. I'm like, why would a woman's needs preempt a man's needs? Oh, he wasn't meeting my needs. He was a narcissist. That's why we didn't work out. Why would your needs be above his needs? That's what. First of all, I think the needs thing is like, oh, he didn't meet my needs. That's cope is what that is. He was a narcissist. Yeah, he was a narcissist after the fact. But you still chose to be with that narcissist for 6 or 8 months. You know, even you could even say, well, I didn't know he was a narcissist. You know, well, maybe after the first month, no. Second month, no. Fourth month, 7th month, 8th month. What's the breaking point? What's the threshold? Let's ask Dr. Jordan Peterson. He doesn't fucking know either, because he thinks that the older a woman gets, the less naive she is. No, apparently not, because we got a whole video docutainment series on how women want to go fly across the English Channel, fly across the Atlantic Ocean to be with an incarcerated son of a bitch who's probably who's on death row. Oh, she must be damaged. Then why are so many of them doing it? Why is there even a series? There has to be enough that are doing this that they would say, maybe we should write a series about this. It's more than a man can take, I tell you.
To the side. I don't want that to be a part of my character. Dude, if you're not faithful as a man, if you're not integrous as a man, you're useless.
Okay. First off, why? Why would that integrous as a man? I can understand that, maybe you're in the military and you have to have some sort of dedication. You have to have some sort of commitment. I think men get a raw deal when it comes to the term commitment, because if a woman, you want to talk about gendered concepts, that's another gendered concept. Love is a gendered concept. Respect is a gendered concept. Also, integrity, I guess, you could also throw that on there. Certainly how to organize society is, but dedication, faithfulness, loyalty is a gendered concept. My needs, he wasn't meeting my needs. That's because he has 100% responsibility and 0% authority. That's why he's not. The other thing is, what about his needs? Well, I was sucking his dick. Okay, well, it's very simple. See, the priority is always on the female. The correct experience, the correct way to live your life is to identify with the female. Well, here's how I know this. Because, to be a good man is to be faithful. Why? How does that have any bearing on your quality as a guy? There are probably some really unfaithful sons of bitches who are still probably, geniuses, or they still have a lot of certainly self-worth. Why is faithfulness? Why is that even a concept? So I asked this, I threw this at Jessie Preston. I said, why is your need supersede his? And she's just like, what? Like, I'm just asking a question. I'm just connecting dots. See, that's the thing, is you want to talk about the red pill. You know why the red pill pisses off dudes like this so much? Is it asks the right questions. Well, the wrong questions for them, but it asks the right questions. They don't want to confront having to contemplate those questions. That's why. First thing I would say, Chase wants to debate you. Okay, first thing I would say is, why? Why is that the standard? Why would that why is what you think, your judgment call, the correct, pragmatic, empirical call? Why is that best practices? Because I can probably make a case as to why it's not, especially now. It might have been under other circumstances. It might have been in other societies. It might have been in other times. It might have been in our hunter-gatherer days. Or one of the reasons why we think fidelity and faithfulness and being a good team player and what is it, a servant leader? why we think that that's a good case, why do we think that that's good and something else is bad, is all based on old data. It's all based on like the way things used to be. We think the way things ought to be are back in the past. As I said before, trad cons don't want the red pill. They want a time machine. They want to jump in the DeLorean and go back to the future, right? Or go back to the past. Because they erroneously think that that romanticized era was so much better than the place that were. That's when men were men and things were better. No, they weren't. And you probably go back, like if you could go back to the 50s and live in those eras, or you want to go be part of the greatest generation, go watch The Pacific and go watch Band of Brothers and go watch these sort of nostalgia-based shows. They're based on romantic ideals. Trust me, the people who were getting shot at in fucking Europe during World War II, they probably thought it fucking sucked. They probably thought it was horrible to see their buddies get fucking, their intestines ripped out on fucking Omaha Beach. It wasn't a great time. He died. The people who were that, what's interesting is like, I was talking about Saving Private Ryan on this show, and then like also on Access Vegas not too long ago. And so I started looking at like, I think it was Rugby and Sam Botta sent me like all of these articles on like how Saving Private Ryan got robbed by Shakespeare in Love, that movie Shakespeare in Love in 1998. And I mean, Shakespeare in Love, okay, it's a romantic comedy that beats out Saving Private Ryan for Best Picture, which is complete highway robbery. But so I'm looking at this, and one of the things that they said about the beginning, the opening scenes of Saving Private Ryan is on D-Day, right? It's on Omaha Beach, and people just get it. Like it has been said that I don't know if maybe it's still true now. It's been said to be the most accurate depiction of World War II combat that has ever been like in cinematography, right? The most accurate. Now you can argue with me all you want on that. I don't know. I'm just relaying the information here. So much so that people, like guys who were there, like the veterans who were there who are still alive in like 1998, couldn't watch it because it was too real. It was too reminiscent of what actually happened right there. So when people say like, oh, you need to be faithful and you need to be this, like they're basing that understanding of what Justin Waller should or shouldn't be based on a romantic ideal that they have no frame of like realistic empirical frame of reference for. So when I say, why is what you're implying or inferring about being faithful should be part of all of that? Okay, well, why is it not the case that what Jay is doing is the right thing? That is the best practice, particularly best practice for a guy like Justin, and particularly the best practice in a time, in an era when women don't want to have anything to do with the 80%ers. They don't really want to fuck the 20%ers, and they really want to get with guys like Justin, who is one of the 4.5%ers. Why is he wrong for living the way he wants to live, and you're right for trying to lambast him? There's your vocabulary word, for living the way he is. I'll explain to you here in a minute why that is. Here.
I don't care how much money you make, how much status you have, how high value you are.
Okay, so that whole that whole thing is conflict, because Justin can do that. Justin can do what he's doing and has done so for quite some time. I know Justin. I know his main girlfriend / wife. I know they're family friends. Dude, they hang out with me in Lake Tahoe. They've hang out with me in Sterling Cooper. They hang out with me in Miguel Munoz from Cultivate Crypto. His girl knows my wife, right? I mean, we know, I understand. We know the deal. I know Jay. I've seen him be, I've shown you the picture before on this show. I have seen girls come up to him in a restaurant, just unsolicited. And on some restaurant menu bill, write their number, say, Ashley, call me, right? I have a picture of him holding it up. I couldn't believe it happened right then and there. This dude in his lifetime will never have that happen to him. So why is what Justin does wrong? Or I shouldn't say wrong. Why is what Justin does not best practices, and what he does or what he thinks ought to be done is best practices. Just asking that question sends these guys into vapor lock. It sends them into a kernel panic.
Without your word, your integrity, your reputation, you're nothing.
Yes, thank you. I could not have said it better myself. And it's unfortunate because I think
Which is why you're doing this reaction video, because you could not have said it better yourself.
a lot of men in the red pill community, a lot of men on these podcasts.
Who? A lot of these men on these podcasts, a lot of these influencers, a lot of these guys, a lot of whoever this or whoever that. Who?
Goddamn right.
Who, bitch? Who? Who are you talking about? Until you can come to Jesus, until you can name names, you are a fucking coward. Until you drop names. I had this one. I'll see if I can find this again. I had this one guy. I don't have the video. Somebody put this in my, maybe, okay, it's probably in my Instagram. I'll see if I can find it here in just a second. This guy was talking shit about like how those red pill guys were saying you shouldn't pay for a woman on a first date. Bullshit. Who are you talking about? And this guy was like, "Oh, I would kick their ass. These guys wouldn't mess with me." What guys? Who the fuck are you talking about? These red pill influencer. Who? And which amongst them has said, "Don't pay for a date"? Because it ain't me. I'm the one who tells you. I get in trouble for that. You guys run me up the flagpole for saying that. I'll tell you who else hasn't said that. Justin Waller. Justin Waller has said exactly the opposite. So who the fuck are you talking about? I'll wait. Who are you talking about? No one, because you want the content and you want the protection of the ambiguity of saying those red pill guys. Until you can say who you're talking about, get the fuck off of my screen and shut the fuck up. Oh, you would never say that to my face. I'll say it right to your face right now. Say it. Say my name. Say somebody's name. And the reason why you don't is because you can't name any of them. And if you did, you would be wrong. You would be 100% wrong. You would be wrong. And I would prove you wrong. And Myron would prove you wrong. And Justin Waller would prove you wrong. And Ryan Stone would prove you wrong. Aaron Clary would prove you wrong. Everyone who is even red pill adjacent would prove you wrong. Because you have no basis in fucking reality. The only basis you have is your grift. Admit it. Cop to it. See, here's what happened. Would you like to see what happened? Well, let's let she couldn't say it better. So
A lot of solid points when it comes to women.
Like?
These men are really good at knowing and talking about what men want.
These men, who? Who are you talking about, fat girl?
But the problem is when they're not so good at being examples of that or even talking truthfully about what women want.
Do you think that Justin Waller hasn't talked about those things? Because you'd be wrong once again. Wrong.
Good women want faithful men.
No, they don't. Clearly they don't. Because they're more than happy to try to get with Justin Waller. But wait, let's back up one more time because she said good women. See, what we do is we qualify things so that we can say, well, she's not a good woman. Well, who gets to decide that? Well, me, because I'm the one making the fucking video. Stop hiding behind ambiguities. I'm going to put this out there because I'm about to move on to one more little quick thing here. But the reason you're hiding behind ambiguities is because you don't know what you're fucking talking about. You want it to be true. You want these people, you want those red pill guys to be the convenient villain. Everybody does, from the Department of Homeland Security to Divert Hate to Moonshot to all these other fuckers who are trying to find some way to minimize my channel or Myron or Pearl or who, God forbid, Pearl, are trying to find some way to marginalize it. But they're not. They're trying to marginalize. They're marginalizing because in doing so, they get high fives from their Tradsburg followers. Yeah, you're right. Christ is king. Yay! That's bad. That's a high five. That's all they're looking for. They're looking for that positive affirmation that comes from not knowing what the fuck they're talking about, but it sounds like it aligns with Team Jesus or Team Islam or Team, I don't know, Buddha or Team whatever. You're on the red team or the blue team, by the way. And I was going to say that's the tribalism. Human tribalism is a feature, not a bug, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't produce some pretty fucked up things sometimes. And sometimes those things are not knowing what you're talking about and making money off of not knowing what you're talking about. But in order to do that, you've got to hedge your bets. You got to hedge your bets by saying those red pill guys, ambiguity. I wasn't really talking about you. Although you said spinning plates and God knows whatever else. What did I read? No, hold on. Let me see if I can get it for spin plates and avoid marriage. Well, could have just been one of those random red pill guys. Oh, Rollo just wants him to recognize him. No, I want you to stop hiding behind ambiguity, because if you are a tradcon guy, more power to you. Geez, pass the ammunition. God, guns, glutz, and glory, man. Praise Jesus and pass the ammunition. I'm all for you. Please go forth and multiply. Do what Charlie Kirk says. Go have a bunch of babies you can't afford, right? Find a woman, find a good woman, right? Have babies, marry her, fuck her, have babies, fuck her again, have more babies. We gotta outbreed them. Wow. Please go right ahead. Please go get yourself as far deep into your marriage and your divorce as humanly possible. I'm all for it. I would love to see that happen to you. Then you'll have a conversation with, because you know what? Let's see, probably in another 2026, then you're going to go, boy, Rollo, what happened to me? I had all these babies I couldn't afford. But if that's your conviction, Christian man or Jewish man or Islam man, I don't know. I don't care. If your conviction is, well, we all need to have more babies and we all need to embrace marriage. And well, let's see. Hold on. Let me do the opposite of what Chase has to say here. Women with high body counts. Okay. Go get laid as much as possible. No one is saying go get laid as much as possible. No one, including myself, by the way. I'm not saying, see, that's the thing is people say, oh, well, Rollo, what about Iron Roll of Tomasi number 3? You know, if a woman makes you wait for sex is not worth the wait, right? That's not about fuck anything on 2 legs. Plate theory, not about promiscuity, not about living hedonistically. It's pragmatism. You know why you don't get that? Because you never read the fucking book. Never read it. You would actually have to educate yourself, and God forbid, that's too much work to do, but it's a whole lot easier to go and throw out some jump cut video on TikTok for 45 seconds. So much easier to do that than actually dig your way through 400 pages. Because then you'd have to know what you're talking about and tell you, you know what would happen? You'd read this and you would not do those anymore. You'd be like, you know what? Maybe there's something to this. But until then, it's not going to happen. And I will tell you this, the reason, okay, so Rollo, you seem very emotional. You seem very worked up about this. I'm worked up about this because I keep seeing it over and over again. But here's the thing. The thing is that these guys want to say, well, Rollo, you go and hang out with these booby girls at fucking Wet Republic bikini contests. And that's not the point. I'm not selling purity. I'm not selling you my convictions. I'm not selling you on this bullshit nonsense about like, oh, the red pill guys say this, but faithfulness, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, it's important. I'll be happy to have that conversation with you. But don't tell me that the red pill movement says X, Y, and Z when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's what needs to be emphasized. And it needs to be more emphasized because if people are going to call me a hypocrite and then you hide behind ambiguities, hide behind those red pill guys, not drop names, not speak directly, talk like a little bitch instead of like, say what you mean and mean what you say. I would have far more. I wouldn't have this conversation. I would have far more respect for you if you use my name, you use Myron's name, you use whoever's name, whoever you think is saying this, use their fucking, to do them the solid and use their fucking names. Because if you don't, you're a pussy. Yes, you are a fucking pussy. Because you are selling your convictions. You are selling well, Jesus said this and God said this and my religion, my ideology says this and this and this is the best way to live. Great. Awesome. You know what? You're full of shit unless you put names. You're full of shit unless you own that. You're full of shit until your conviction is meaningless. You are a coward. Your conviction is horse shit until you name names. So if you want me to take your conviction and your brand of me and your personality and all this other, I'm all about being faithful and being integrous. You want me to take your integrousness, your integrity seriously? Stop hiding behind ambiguities and be a fucking man. You won't do it. You know why? Because you know you'd get owned. Because then you have to back it up. Your convictions are horse shit. Your beliefs, your religion is horse shit. So long as you are hiding behind ambiguities. There, I said it. Everything you believe in is bullshit until you stop hiding behind those ambiguities. End of story. End of rant. Thank you very much. Praise Jesus. Vaya con Dios. Christ is king, man. Oh, but wait a minute. There's more. God, these guys are great.
All right, guys out there, who would you rather marry? A girl boss or a trad wife? It seems like Gen Z is choosing the latter. According to a new article in The Federalist, the rise of the massively popular trad wife or traditional wife trend on Instagram depicting women happily remaining at home and raising the kids is following a reorientation of priorities for women away from the workforce and into the wifery. One trad wife, Hannah Nealman, has nearly 9 million followers on Instagram who attentively tune into content featuring her life as a mom on a hog farm.
Whether this lifestyle is possible or even desirable.
Hey,
Nealman's is married to the son of JetBlue's founder with a net worth of nearly $400 million. This has led to accusations that this lifestyle only works for the ultra-rich. Others say the rise of the trad wife is just an excuse to push back on the gains made by feminists in the modern era and return women to a more subservient role.
Here to discuss is author of this Federalist piece and a research associate at the Heritage Foundation, Emma Waters. Emma, welcome back to Rising.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Right. So a lot of this trend, I think, started during the pandemic, and a lot of women ended up leaving the workforce after their jobs went remote. This was talked about in the media as sort of a tragic trend about how they needed to actually figure out how to get women back to work. But a lot of women that I've talked to say that the pandemic basically reminded them that they actually enjoy being at home and enjoy taking care of their kids. Where did your inspiration for this piece come from, and what has been your experience in terms of the research that you've been doing on the rise of this trad wife trend?
So I'll be the first to admit that I was actually highly skeptical of the trad wife influencers for a long time and really critical of them.
The trad wife influencers who've been around for a grand total of 5 months. Cool.
So similar to some of the criticisms that you hear, it's unrealistic. They're playing into a stereotype and they're trying to paint this one vision of womanhood, of what it means to be feminine, that's maybe just not representative of what most women actually want. But as I was observing COVID and then even just the last few years, the changes we've seen in the way that women prioritize their time, I started.
The Heritage Foundation. It's like the Heritage Foundation is like the anti Brookings Institute. It's like Heritage versus Brookings. Fight!
To realize that even though these trad wife influencer accounts are usually showing the most extreme version of what it means to be a feminine homemaker at home with all of her children, that in many ways it was.
God, this is so great. I love the video here. It's like, this is almost better. Like, okay, before I get too like lost in the sauce here, notice the difference between see the chick that they're using there who's like, I don't know, filtering the raw milk. Is that what she's, it's like, what is she, like a housefrau? Like, do you notice that there's a difference between her and Cake Tits? Isabella. Yeah, DeLuca, looking at you. I am more inclined, and I'm not inclined at all, but I am more inclined to believe the chick filtering the raw milk, who's apparently she just milked from the cow into those mason jars to filter through some cheesecloth into some bowl that looks like it's like, I don't know, the turn of the century, 19th to 20th century bowl, mixing bowl. I'm far more inclined to believe that chick is legit. Like she's ready to be Amish girl than Isabella Moody, or Isabella, well, her too, but Isabella DeLuca stirring, I don't know, the next velvet cake, red velvet cake with her boobies, her very expensive tits, by the way, just pushed up in your face. Right? So I have to I'm just going to ask this question because I don't know. This is me just spitballing right here. Okay. I don't know if this is true, but I think it is that there's this trend of like the chick that's doing this with the cheesecloth and all this other shit that they're talking about, right? Maybe there's a legitimate trend for like women saying, oh, we want to get back to tradition. Yeah, at 30 years old, I'm sure you do. But be that as it may, maybe there is a genuine like desire to do that, right? As I've said before in the epiphany phase, right? When women go to the epiphany phase, people say, well, Rollo, don't you think that these women can actually genuinely, authentically want to like turn over a new leaf and be better women because they lived such a sordid lifestyle in the past? Oh, yeah, I 100% think that that's legit. Absolutely, I do. I don't question the legitimacy or the sincerity of it. I question the timing of it because they got nothing up. If they were really that sincere, how come they came to it at 30 and not 23? Yeah, now I want to be a trad wife. Well, why? Because now I'm 30 years old. Now, I'll tell you what the other thing that gets me on all this, but I'll save this for a minute when I come back to this. I will finish this thought. So you got this chick who's like, let's just say for sake of argument, this is a hypothetical thought experiment here. Let's say for sake of argument that cheesecloth girl is actually legit. She's authentic. This is what she wants to do. She's all into it. The baby's there. She's going to feed him milk or whatever. But then you get an Isabella DeLuca who comes along and she's just like, here, I need like some balloons or something. Here. All right. Look, guys, I want to play too. Can I be in the trad girl treehouse as well? Here they are. Dolly Parton. Here they are. I wonder how like this chick would react to basically Isabella being a carpetbagger, more or less, on the trad wife thing. And by the way, the trad wife thing, I'm going to say it's not really a Gen Z thing. I think it's probably a later millennial thing because millennials are moving into their 40s right now. Gen Z, the beginning of Gen Z is like my daughter's age, like 25. Isn't Gen Z like from 1998, I think, up to, I forget what it is. But I think it started at I think Gen Z starts at 1998. Millennials were before that. So the youngest Gen Z is probably going to be about 24, 25 years old, I think. Pretty sure that's the case. I don't see too many 25-year-old girls who want to like filter fucking raw milk through a goddamn cheesecloth. I don't see that happening. I see this chick, like this girl in the video right here. Let me see if I can get her up there. That chick on the right-hand side, she does not strike me as being 26 years old. She strikes me as being like maybe in her early 30s tops. And on top of that, yeah, you probably have to be set. Not too many women want to take a downgrade. Put it this way. Women who are the trad wife whatevers don't want to take a step down in lifestyle. They're not going to go say, you know what? I was making money hand over fist on OnlyFans. I read the Bible. I gave it all up. And you know what? I gave all my money back. And I gave it back to all my pay pigs and my simps and my tippers and everything. And you know what? I think I'm going to go live on a farm somewhere. If I could find a farm that's not a corporate farm, I think I'm going to go find a guy in Minnesota and raise cattle. Looking at you, Justice. I have a guy who, by the way, maybe this is a good time to bring this up. I have a guy in my Patreon group, by the way, which is still open. I've still got slots open if you want to be a part of that. I have a Patreon group that I do once a month. I do it for 2 hours. Right now, I think we're up to like 9 guys. I cap it at 25. We're starting to get more dudes. I think I've got 2 new guys in now. And but last week, I think we had 7 or 8 guys that showed up. And one guy who's my regular is this guy. I want to say his name is Justice, something like that. I forget. Anyways, he is legitimately a cattle rancher in the sense that he breeds top shelf, very expensive cattle. And I want to say I hope I'm getting this right. I think it's Minnesota is where he does this. And we're talking about he raises cattle that people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not, maybe not him, but like in that industry will pay millions of dollars for, if that, like that stud is like what everybody wants. If it's like the perfect kind of, I don't know. I don't claim to be an expert in it. Maybe I'll have him on the show and he can explain it to you, but the dude makes a shit ton of money. The problem is he can't leave the farm. He can't leave the ranch. That was that's one of the reasons why he's like part of my group, right? He can't leave. And it's a family-owned situation. He's not even farming the land. He just breeds cattle. He's got to have ranch land and everything for the cattle and stuff. He's also talking about like, doing like his own brand of like distilled spirits of some sort. I'm not sure what he wants to do. But he's got a good chunk of, he's a high value man. He's got a lot of money. He's got, the equipment and everything that he has to do to run his business, very expensive. You ever see Clarkson's farm? Like Jeremy Clarkson buys a Lamborghini, like a Lamborghini tractor. If you've ever seen Clarkson's farm, is it on Prime? Yeah, Amazon Prime. Jeremy Clarkson has a farm. He's 2 seasons in now, by the way. It's fascinating. I've learned more about farming from that one show than anything else. But he has a Lamborghini. So you can get some very expensive ass, farming equipment and I presume ranching equipment. And I don't think it is cheap to do what Justice is doing, right? But the guy is in his, I think he's late 20s right now. And he wanted to join MOA. He shows up faithfully every time we do the Patreon Zoom calls, he's there. And you can join too, by the way. Just the Patreon link is just below the fold. Hit more and you'll find the link. You can join up. So I have this conversation with him. He's like, I want to go to Vegas. I want to go do this, blah, 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 but I can't leave the farm. I want to find a really good, I want a wife. He wants a wife that's like this, man. He wants a chick. His parents want him to, start getting out and being social but he can't. It's kind of hard for him to follow the sort of like social proof, pre-selection guidelines in MOA when you live on a rural farm in Minnesota. But this chick right here, filtering the milk, she looks like she'd probably be a good bet for Justice as a wife or something like that. It's a fantasy. Remember, he makes a lot of money. There has to be a lot of money for that to happen. Women don't take a step down so they can do this shit. It has to be at least a lateral move. Okay. So I think in a way that a lot of these chicks who are who are bringing this up, like these two right here, they're bringing up the fact that it costs money to play this role. It's LARPing and it's very expensive LARPing. Ballerina Farm at Instagram. Somebody give me that. Somebody go look that up. Ballerina, BALLERINA Farm. And that's on Instagram. I'm going to
actually tapping into this deep need within Gen Z. The fact that she has 9 million followers, and I'm guessing a lot of those are moms with kids who probably aren't getting to live the kind of lifestyle that she is. That there is this inherent and like deep hunger among women to really be at home with their children.
Okay. Yes. But what are you willing to sacrifice to get that? The reason why she has 9 million followers is because she is a pleasant fiction. They would love. It's like, have you seen those memes where it's like this very rustic cabin? And it might be it's not AI, it's a real cabin, right? A real cabin in the woods. And it's like, it looks like the whole thing is like one room. Like maybe there's a kitchen and a wood burning stove or some shit like that, right? And it's by this nice creek where maybe you go fishing. It looks fucking heavenly to me, right? And the caption or the meme is always, would you stay here for 3 months with no internet and no, contact with the outside world for, I don't know, $500,000? And everybody goes, I would do it for nothing. The reason, so that's the same feeling that they're talking about right here. The chick who's, pouring the milk through the cheesecloth. That's the cabin in the right by the idyllic little river in God knows in Wyoming, rural Wyoming, wherever. Would you stay here for $500,000? And people go, I'd stay there for $10,000. I'd stay there for $100. I'd do it for free. And I would do it. Fuck, 3 months there, 6 months, a year. You don't have to pay me. Fuck, I would do it. I'd go sit there and just write all day long and fish the rest of the day. Bring me food and fishing and tackle. That's all I would need. Let's do it. I would spend a whole year there. You wouldn't even hear from me. But yeah, and you know why? Because to me, like pretty much everybody else who would respond to some stupid meme like that, it seems like it's romanticized. It seems like, man, wouldn't it be nice? It's not even, hey, would you want to go to Aruba or Medellin, or would you want to go to Vegas and fuck around? What if you had a hall pass and you could go fuck any chick you wanted to in Vegas? Oh, wouldn't that be great? Nobody's thinking that, but they will say, oh, I'd stay isolated in this cabin in the woods for 3 months for $500,000. It's the same thing.
And I think many women experience the burnout of girl boss culture, of the corporate full-time work lifestyle, where you're rushing the kids off to school or to daycare, you're getting to work, you're doing the best job that you can, and then you have to hurry and go pick them back up, and then dinner's ready. And then it just goes on. And COVID introduced this restful time where all of a sudden you could slow down, you could take time with your kids and really enjoy some of the more domestic arts that many aspects of our modern.
Okay, that's enough of that, because have I got something for you. So, cheesecloth girl, shall we have a look? Yes, we will. Here we go. So Milkmaid. This is the Milkmaid right here. Here's your Milkmaid. Thank you for looking this up, Sam. Sam Botta comes through. Clutch. There you go. This is your Milkmaid right here. Wander in the wind. Look, Milkmaid's here. All right. Oops, wait a minute. Let me pull this off. There's the Milkmaid. Okay, so she's cool with Vegas. There's the baby. Okay, the baby's there. This right here is like trad guy fantasy land. She's still hot and she's got all these babies. Like she's still fuckable. Hey, look, no, maybe she's not. Look, red dress. That means she's ovulating, right? That doesn't look like Milkmaid to me. Oh, look, well, at least she can actually cook something. Oh, can we?
We just got back from a little trip, so we are now realizing that we have very little in the fridge as far as food goes. But we do have eggs and flour, and so we decided we are going to make some dinner rolls along with some soup. So we got right to work on the dough. We kneaded the dough, let it rest. Fran started chopping carrots down there.
Mabel.
I divided the dough into little rolls. Fran brushed them with milk. We got sweet potatoes, carrots, and
good, actually.
Garlic. Then we add.
She's like making this goulash, man. All right, I'm a believer. I'm in it. Let's do it. What the hell is this? Okay. Hold on. Hold the phone here. Let me put back in. There we go. Now, gentlemen, this is for the gentlemen only. Ladies, you get to chime in here in just a moment. Gentlemen, after watching just a couple of those things, granted, just, hey, man, she can go to Vegas too. God, hey, I don't even know what's her name, ballerina, whatever your name is. Next time you're in Vegas, we'll have you on the show. I would. I'll have you on Access Vegas. Dead ass serious. You want to come on Access Vegas next time you're, because clearly, well, maybe that could have been Atlantic City, I suppose. Anytime you're in Vegas, though, if that was Vegas, we would love, me and Mike, open invitation. Anytime you want to come. In fact, I think that would be a great idea. Please do. Man, I should try to get her. Anyways, that said, gentlemen, if Isabella DeLuca had put on the apron and had a big ass, I don't know, pumpkin or whatever the fuck that was, or she was going to making bread and sweet potato pie or whatever, like some, I don't know, 18th century Civil War era school marm. If she was wearing the same thing, would anyone have said anything about it? Would any guy have ever even stopped in their tracks if they hadn't seen your big ass titties right there and your crucifix necklace and you're trying, I'm going to make a red velvet cake. If you had worn the same thing, gentlemen, if she had worn the same thing, would we even be talking about it? No, we wouldn't. That's the whole operative of this scam. They're tricking you. Maybe not this girl, but the chicks who are grifting off of girls like this, they go, you know what? That's the wave of the future. If I could just make it believable. God, that was great, though. Thank you for getting me that link. Now I'm going to, you know what? I am going to follow her right this very instance. Hannah, of course, Hannah at Ballerina Farm. 8.6 million followers and one. There we go. Hannah. These are great. You tell me this is a grift without telling me this is a grift. Where did it go? Let me add that to the stage again. There we go. I love the one where she's you're getting a face job there with the baby. It looks like it's nursing. That baby is not nursing. This baby is not nursing. Kind of looks like she is. Well, maybe she is nursing. Hey, I come to think of it. Maybe she is nursing. A little bit there. I wonder what she was there for. Was it a pageant? She looks like a pageant girl. Guys, they're selling hoop earrings. They're so. It was a pageant. Yeah, I told you. It was a pageant. Who's this? This is World. Mrs. World. Oh, this is. She's Mrs. America. American. I wonder what pageant system that is. Mrs. American. Well, she's good looking. I don't want to lie. Okay. Hold on. Oh, I'm almost ashamed. I'm almost ashamed to say I know exactly what this is from. Okay, so I'm very. As you know, my daughter is a pageant girl. She's been a pageant girl since she was 7. Right? I'm aware of various pageant systems. I'm also very aware of the Mrs. America, which is you have to be married. And you'll notice that all the chicks that were they did that shit, that quick, pan of all those girls that were the women that were there, those mothers. I don't know if you have to be a mother. I know you have to be married. And there's a certain age demographic that you have to fit into. I'm dead certain you have to be married to be a part of that. And essentially what it is it's look, here's that whole thing. I wonder what would happen. Because here's what happened. God, this is fucking great. When I was getting rocks thrown at me, I should say, by Brittany Venti, fuck you. And let's see, and Isabella DeLuca, and God knows whoever. Oh, what's her name? Kate Canada or Canada or whatever the fuck her name is. Oh, you go and hang out with these girls with big titties hanging out in fucking Vegas. Yeah. Oh, and your daughter is a pageant girl. You let her be in a pageant? Well, fucking Cake Mom or whatever her name, milkmaid girl. She's doing pageants now. That was just off. When was this? What's the date on this? 5 days ago. This is from 5 days ago. Oh my God. 5 days ago. She participates in the Mrs. American, apparently. One of them was Mrs. World, I guess. She participates in it, and rightly so. Good. Bravo. I'm all good. I'm glad. I think that's great. Please do. I have no problem with pageants whatsoever. And if you knew anything about them, you wouldn't either. But the thing is is you're going to throw shit at me for my daughter being in pageants, and the trad wife, the Gen Z trad wife poster girl with 8.6 million followers is a pageant queen herself, you fucking idiots. See what I have to deal with? See what I deal with like on a daily fucking basis? It's just fucking more than a man can take. According to Wagner College, 2018, men are naturally hardwired for promiscuity. Monogamous marriage has an inherent defect. According to Wagner College, men are hardwired for promiscuity. Yes. You know who else is hardwired for promiscuity? Human females, too. Would you like me to go get, hold on, I'll go get the book in a moment. The audacity. Women are the selectors, they select men. So basically, by saying men need to be faithful, they're saying men have to qualify for the privilege of sacrificing their own sexual strategy. Yeah, that's what they're claiming. And you know what, Rick? Here, we'll take it even one further. It's not so much because being faithful is identifying, agreeing with, aligning yourself, and sacrificing yourself on the altar of female correctness and female experience. That's what you want. Let me throw this on. Hannah Palmer. Is that her name? Okay, Hannah Palmer is her. Hannah Palmer. Wasn't Laura Palmer from like Twin Peaks? Remember Laura Palmer? Yeah. Good show. Oh, I got to pull this one up because I don't know who this chick is. Veronica Rajek. I'm gonna look this up. Hold on. I don't know who you're talking about. Probably stupidly too. With a K. Veronica Rajek. Okay, there it is. Rajek. This girl is in no way natural. Oh, she's a Jew too. Here you go. She's part of the tribe, gentlemen. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you this one. Yeah. Okay. I feel it. I'm feeling it. Should I put her on there? Gosh, I don't even know if I can. Yeah, I can. Okay. I have to be careful. I have safe search on. When I do the show, I put safe search on. I don't usually have it on. Where is it? God, that was awesome. Hold on. I'm going to pull Laura Palmer off of here. I got to pull this out of Trad Wife Girl out of there. And let's share Mrs. Rajek because I have, you know what? Beautiful women promotes human happiness. So here you go. Tom Brady. Oh, she's a Tom Brady admirer. Okay. So is Tom Brady hitting this? Tom Brady's not hitting this. Oh, damn. That's her. She's got the Star of David there. There you go. She's got it all over the place. So instead of the big crucifix, does this make her a trad wife? I mean, technically, she could be a trad wife, right? Does she wear that all the time? Or just most of the time? Oh, there's another one. There it is, little Jewish star. She's part of the tribe, gentlemen. There you go. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you besmirch my beautiful Veronica? Yep. Okay, you win. She's definitely fuck it. She's definitely a 9. She's a 9 on the Tomasi scale for sure. You win. I'll give it to you. But she's not that is not natural. You come on. I mean, I love it. I have no problem with it. I should probably throw that out there as well. It's like one of the things that I get, and I got people. I think too many trad wife girls want to do shit like this. Where'd it go? Is it Sovereign Bra? Where'd it go? Those red pill guys. Where'd she go? This is so fucking great. You know what? I'm gonna run this on here. Oh, can I do this? I don't want to, because I hate it when people like throw porn on my freaking site, and then I can't really show my Twitter very often because I know I'm going to get run up the flagpole. I don't want to get a nudity strike. I don't even want to glancingly get a nudity strike for any of this shit. Where did it go? Where'd it go? Damn, man. Phantom Noir has already got my first clip of this show. I'm not even done with the show yet, dude. Like, can you like at least wait till I'm done with the show? Oh yeah, this was great. Oh, where are you, girlfriend? See, that's it. See, I'm glad I didn't, because somebody threw this like feminist thing on here where the girls with their boobies hanging out and they like write stop abortion or whatever. Yeah, good call, Rolo. Good call. Where is that girl? Where's Canada girl? Canada girl. Myron is a lot more active on Twitter these days than he used to be. Now there was one. I wanted to give this girl the attention she was deserving of here. I love Alan Richmond, by the way. Is it Richmond? Yeah. He wasn't talking to. Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right. Here's that attention you were looking for, Kat. So Kat comes at me. I was basically making a big deal out of not anything that had anything to do with boobies or anything like that. Of course, everybody wants to throw that at me, right? And I'm like, here, like Sovereign Bra is like, you're deliberately deflecting, Myron. Stay on topic, right? I never said dudes need to be Captain Save-A-Ho. I said influencers like you. No, you didn't. What you actually said was, let's see, where did it go? What you actually said was this, Chase: red pill influencers, women get with high body counts. Also red pill influencers. You did not mention Myron Gaines whatsoever. You did not mention me whatsoever. You did not mention Rich Cooper. You did not mention Ryan Stone. You did not mention, I don't know, even, Kevin Samuels. You did not, or anyone by name. So don't try to grab some moral fucking high ground by finally feeling comfortable enough to bring Myron's name into something here. You didn't say that. And that's what I called him out for here. I said this: actually, you deliberately did not mention anyone by name. Myron calls you out, and now red pill influencers, quote unquote, becomes influencers like you. Until Christians start from a position of real conviction, your moral crisis is just a grift. And that's what it is. And of course, our good friend Kat decides to chime in here. Kat, let me tell you something. Says an aging, gossiping red pill dork who says boobs, who uses boobs as a desperate move for attention and to sell his brand. You are, trust me, bitch. I have been around way longer than any need to sell my brand with boobs. I have 5 fucking books. Where have you been? And you can't control your emotions. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so she thinks that these shots, which by the way are me at fucking Wet Republic, she wants to use. And by the way, that's Kylie. And yes, that is who the fuck is that? It's not Michelle. It's God damn it, the name's right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, and there's Liz Chevalier at the white party. And that, by the way, that's Babes in Toyland. That's a charity event. Thank you very much. There you go. Like that. Yeah. Let me just state, let the record show, Your Honor, I got no problem with boobs. I love fucking titty. I absolutely love boobies. I love thigh gaps. I love a nice tight ass. I like long legs. I like a flat stomach. I like a pretty symmetrical face. And by the way, I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're Latina. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're blonde, brunette, redhead. My wife's a natural redhead. I don't care. I'm a equal opportunity enjoyer of female beauty. I have no problem. And you're not going to hit me with any of that shit because I'm not being a hypocrite. I'll tell you right now, dead ass. Please keep getting boob jobs. I love them. Please do whatever you got to do. Ladies, I have no problem whatsoever with Mrs. American. What's her name? Something Palmer? What was her name? Palmer. Hannah Neeleman. I thought it was Palmer. Hannah Palmer. Sorry, I'm wrong. She won the pageant. Fucking A. See? Bravo. Awesome. Good. Here you go. She won that pageant. I just now looked at this. Official Mrs. American pageant. That's the pageant system. Hannah is Mrs. American. She won the pageant. Hannah Nealon. I thought it was Palmer. She is currently Miss American, pageant queen, 8 kids, and $1 billion fortune. With a B, $1 billion fortune. Okay, so she's not like giving up jack shit to go live some, I don't know, idyllic lifestyle in the country with baking bread and making cookies and shit like that. She is a billionaire, B with a B, billions. Okay. 8 kids will get you $1 billion. Will get you 8 kids. That's for fucking sure. And you can still look like that. And you know what? Bravo. Not being a hypocrite. I think that's fucking great. What I don't think is great is grifters like you trying to coattail that shit all the way until November 5th. That's what, and by the way, November 6th, all this goes away. Poof. Like it never existed because you're chumps, because you're shysters. Is that Jewish? Is that Yiddish? Yeah, shyster. Apparently, what's her name? Veronica is definitely part of the shyster. I wonder if she can speak Yiddish. Is she a Yenta? She's definitely not a Yenta. I'm only saying, by the way, I'm only like, I'm using those. I know certain Yiddish words. I'm fairly adept at that. I'm not Jewish, but I am more than happy to poke the bear. Hannah Nealon was Mrs. Utah. Mrs. Utah, you don't say. In 2021, she is married to Daniel Nealman, son of JetBlue founder Dave. Okay, so that's where the billions come from. She attended the Juilliard School as a ballerina. I guess that's the address, right? Ballerina, whatever. She was a ballerina, 8 children. Okay, find this out for me, Sammy. Mormon. Who had Mormon on their bingo card? Who wants the over under on Mormon? Utah gives it away, right? Mormon? Come on, give it to me. Who's got Mormon? Who's got the over and under? Who wants 10? Who wants 10 on the Mormon? I guarantee you. Find it out for me. I know it's coming. Okay. All right. Good enough. What time is it right now? Oh, we're already past the 3-hour mark. So that's that. Do I have one more thing? I thought I had one more. Do I have anything that I have to get to? God. Do you want to see something funny before we go? Because I feel like we need to end this on like some humor here. God, that was pretty good too. God, those were really good. Anyways, I'll leave you one more. Oh, Jesus Christ. Thank you very much for that. $200, my friend. I was just about to call it a day. Oh man, thank you. Hey, you just extended the show another 15 minutes. Have a buddy that is considered what is Asian? What is Asian? I don't know how to pronounce your thing. Have a buddy that is considering kids with a trad girl. He is getting ready to turn 30. Don't do it. And making a $250,000 a year. That's all. He could get a hotter girl, better looking kids, obviously, better understand the desire for trad values. How does a man balance good looking kids and a mother with good values? Good looking kids. Well, okay. So all right, hold on a second. I got one more thing here I got to throw out real fast. Off topic. Who are you rooting for? It's KC in the line. It's Kansas City going. No, Kansas City's with Buffalo. The Lions, I think. Well, I was thrilled that the Niners. I want to see the Niners go. I want to see Brock Purdy get a fucking ring. Is what I want to see in his like second year. Brock Purdy. Yes, definitely. I want to see Kittle get a ring. I want to see McCaffrey get a ring. You guys already know I'm a diehard Niners fan. Yes, I have to be a Raiders fan because I basically live in Vegas these days, but I've always been a Niners. That's my first team. My first favorite, best team was always Niners. My credit card is a San Francisco 49ers credit card. So yes, I'm a big Niners fan, but I would say Lions. Yeah, I'll go for Lions on that. But Ravens got in, right? Or so far. And then KC is going to fucking dominate. It's going to be KC versus San Francisco. You want to see the Super Bowl? The Super Bowl will be Kansas City Chiefs versus San Francisco. Once again, Mac, you want to bet money? I know you're watching. Mackenzie, come on. I bet you anything, Purdy. I think Niners could beat Kansas City. Okay, but thank you for that. Yes, thank you for letting me geek out for half a second. Oh, those guys, only pussies and simps like the NFL. You're watching guys run around after a ball on the field. Oh, you should be focusing on your, you should be chasing excellence. Let's see. How does a man balance good-looking kids and a mother with good values? Okay. Well, let me explain to you the difference, since you were so kind with you're so generous here. The difference between wanting to get laid and the difference between like having good-looking children. Okay. Because just to make things a little bit better. So how does a man balance good-looking kids and a mother? So you're looking at things from the perspective of a girl, of a chick. This is Sexy Sons theory, is what it is, or at least it's rooted in that. When I'll just tell you from my personal experience, but I think I am representative of a larger whole or general truth. When I saw my wife for the first time, the woman that would be my wife, my girlfriend and then wife. And I saw her in a club. I was playing a gig in a bar, and she was actually on a girls' night out with her girlfriends when I met her. And I did everything that they tell you you're not supposed to do. I didn't meet her in a freaking Barnes and Noble. I didn't meet her at college. I didn't meet her at Bible study. I met her in a bar playing a gig. That's where I met my wife. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is this. When I saw Mrs. Tomasi, now Mrs. Tomasi, I didn't go, I wonder what our babies would look like. No. You know what I did? I saw her hair. I saw her tits. I saw her ass. I saw the thigh gap. Meets all the criteria for Rolo. And I thought, I would really like to tap that ass. In fact, I still think that these days too. I look at that, I go, man. In fact, the bet you want to know here's the bet. You want to know what a real neg hit is? Gentlemen, if you're married and you have a very good looking wife and maybe you've been married for 10 years or something, here's the best neg hit you can give a woman. After you've had sex, or maybe before you've had sex, but when your wife is naked in front of you and she still looks good, whatever, you're not pandering, right? The best thing you can tell her is this. She goes, what? You go, let's just keep your ass that way. Say that. Wonder. It's a compliment and it's a threat in the same breath. But I even to this day, I'm like, I still want to tap that ass. I really want to have sex with my wife, right? I'm like, damn, let's do it. Let's get after it, right? And that's not to say that I find other women attractive too, but I only fuck my wife, right? So, but the proximate goal is I want to tap that ass. The ultimate outcome is we would have some pretty good looking babies. In fact, my daughter's gorgeous. Thank you very much. So, but that wasn't the goal. Not when I first saw her, that wasn't the goal. So when I hear guys say, well, how do you balance wanting to have like beautifully genetically perfect, symmetrical faced children? Nobody thinks that way. Okay. Not when they first see the chick anyways, they don't. So And then to balance it with the good mothers and values. Okay, so I will tell you this again. I will speak from personal experience because that's all I have to go on. Okay, when I thought it was a good idea to get married, I didn't go, I wonder if she would be a mother with good values. That didn't cross my mind whatsoever. But when guys say, "Oh, you've got to go and what's this? Hold on. You're gonna expose me for what? Go for it. Bring it." Rollo did stage acting when he was young. Let's expose him. You do realize I've talked about that before, right? Would you like me to? I'll tell you right now. You don't have to expose me. I'm happy to talk about. You want me to talk about myself? Fucking just ask me. I'll be happy to do so. He did stage acting. Oh my God. Yeah, I did. I played Macbeth, actually. I learned every line at Macbeth. It was mostly Shakespearean stuff because I like that. I did. Would you like to know the plays that I was in? I'll tell you in a minute. Let me finish this story because he gave me $200 and you gave me shit. So when I saw my wife and I was like, you know what? I think maybe I want to formalize this in some way, right? And I was not the same person I am. Remember, I'm like 27, 28 back then. And I talked to some guys, I talked to some dudes. The conversation never happened. Like, does you think she's really good? Does she have good, fine moral character? Is she an upstairs? Does she volunteer at the soup kitchen? That didn't happen. You know, when I decided I wanted to marry my wife, I asked myself two questions. I didn't vet her. I vetted myself. I said, is this the kind of woman that I can be faithful to? That was the number one question. That was my vetting, started and ended with that. Is this person somebody that I can see myself having sex with till that day I fucking die? And the answer was yes. And it still is. The answer is yes today. Because I know me. I've seen me do it before. And if it ain't working, if it's not there, then it's not there. And oh my gosh, Rollo, that's so superficial. Oh, Rollo, sex is just one part of, so it's your whole life is just based around getting your dick wet, blah, 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 blah. Yes. And so is yours, actually. Because I will tell you this, if I couldn't have answered that question, if I couldn't have said, I can be faithful to this woman. And as I've said before, I've seen me do it. I've seen me cheat. I've been the cheated and I have cheated. Same thing. I've done both. I've been cheated on and I have been the cheater. So I know how it works. I know how the feelings that happen. But I will say this, and here's why it's vitally important. Because your family depends on it. Your step parent, or your in-laws, your relationship. Like, you got to remember that when two people get married, it's not just the two people. It's me, my wife, now my daughter and her husband, now my daughter, her husband, and any future grandchildren I might have as a result of that. It's not just them. Now it's also my son-in-law's mother and father, who, by the way, are still together. And their family is now wrapped up in this. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law, and while my mother and father were still alive, God rest their souls, it was about them as well. It's about Ned and freaking Anna right now, my dogs as well. Depends on one thing: fucking, wanting to have sexual relations, wanting to still be intimate with my wife. That is vitally fucking important. And if you can't answer that question, and ladies, if you can't answer that question either, don't get married. Gentlemen, don't get married. Don't get married if you can't say I can be 100% faithful to this woman. And hey, here's one of those red pill guys saying that maybe being with that person, if you're going to commit and you're going to be faithful, here's what's important. You want to fuck her. She wants to fuck you. Genuine desire is important. Oh my God, Rollo, doesn't that go against everything that Justin Waller is saying? No. Justin Waller just has it's open on his end and it's closed on his girl's end, and they understand that it's above board. They agree to it, and no one is hurt The families are still the families, and that's it. And probably at a later date, I'm sure, and I totally expect this, that Justin's going to go, you know what? He's going to probably have the come to Jesus moment. He's probably going to be the prodigal son, and everybody's going to go, bravo, you finally saw the light. You finally came over to our team. Yay, prodigal son returneth. That's what they're going to do, because that's what stupid emotionalist idiots do. Okay. And you know what? They'll be just as fine with it then as they are being fine with me being faithful to my wife, because it's closed on my end and closed on her end. But I'll tell you, if you can't say I can be faithful to this person, if she can't say I want to be faithful, but let's not even put it in terms of faithfulness or fidelity. Let's put it in terms of I want to fuck this person. I like this person so much. I am so aroused and attracted and so intimate and in love and crazy passionately in love with this person because I have a genuine, I'm going to defend lust right now. I have lust for my wife. What am I doing here? Fuck it, I'm out. Honey? On the bed. Yes. 27 and a half, almost 27 and a half years later. Yes, it definitely is possible if you stay in shape. I like sex so much. I don't want to see myself fat when I'm fucking my wife. And I don't want to see her fat either. And we have that agreement. It's not written into our vows, but we do have that mutual agreement. I like sex so much, I will never let myself go. Put it that way. You want a secret? You wanted the secret to a healthy hair. Rolo's going to give you the secret to a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship. Stay in fucking shape and want to and fuck each other a lot. It might not be exactly what you're after, but that's probably the best starting point. Genuine desire, lust, arousal. I'll tell you this, man. I come back every time I come back from Vegas. Oh, is that new? When did you buy that? Where did that lingerie come from? Oh, a choker. Thanks, Vince. Yeah. Yeah, that is your, yes, of course. Absolutely. Do you still have passion for your wife? Do you demand your wife? Yes, I do. She knows this. Guess what? I don't have to demand. Isn't that awesome? Here's the best part of all that, Joe. I don't have to demand. There's no demanding. There's no submit to my will, bitch. There's nothing like that. You know why? I don't have to. I've never had to. I come home from Vegas. She's right there. And it's like, hey, well, new G-string. All right. What time is it? Are the kids with your sister? You know, I don't have to. It's effortless. Remember what I kept telling you guys? What we started out with was, Dr. Taraban, permission. I don't ask for permission. I don't have to. I've never had to. That's just not how it works. We've never sat down like Jordan Peterson and Tammy Peterson. We sit across the table from each other. Okay, well, here's how we're going to negotiate this. And you're going to suck my dick 4 times a month, and I'm going to pay for this, and you're going to tell me you love me 3 times a day, and then I'm going to what? I don't have the doctorate in fucking psychology. I got a better fucking relationship than that, and I know they've been married for a long time too. Not as long as I have. There you go. All right. One last thing. It's all about perception. If she presents herself as a trad, most people will assume trad without further inspection, like the Girl Next Door movie. Yeah. Yep. You are correct, sir. All right. I got to go. Time to get out of here. And you know why? Because, so would you like to know what's going to happen next week? All 992 of you? Here's what's going to happen next week. I'm going to go to the AVN. I'm going to be renting a new place. It's come down to shit or get off the pot time. And so I am going to rent a new condo or a new house, depending on what I get in Vegas. I need a new base of operations in Vegas. I had my daughter had a condo there that we were leasing. And I haven't had it for a while, so I've been relying on the good graces of Aaron Clary. And if you know anything about Aaron Clary, those good graces have a expiration date. So, and I don't want to impose anymore, but so I need a place to park my Camaro. I need a place to park my other car. I need a place. So I'm going to be looking at a place to rent in Las Vegas. And that means a new commitment to doing what I've been doing in Vegas, meaning that you're going to see a lot more content from me coming out of Vegas, me and being in Vegas. Now, I am not leaving Reno. I am definitely not leaving this place. But I am going to get a new base of operations. Trader SZ at the last minute. Trader SZ, my best friend. You want good advice on crypto, like real good advice? There are only two people I can recommend. Trader SZ is one. The other is Miguel from Cultivate. Well, I guess Charlie too, from Cultivate Crypto and Dollar Cost Crypto. But Trader SZ is one of my personal goodest friends. You can find him as Trader SZ on Twitter. Follow him. I don't give too many recommendations. I don't give too many like endorsements. Trader SZ, I will give you a glowing 100% A+ grade A endorsement. He's a good friend. Please follow him. Thank you for that generous 100 pounds. And the British pound is worth more than $1, I think. Anyways, so here's the deal. I will be in Vegas starting Wednesday. I will be there Wednesday. Thursday is the show. That is industry night, meaning that we are going to have nothing but porn stars. Yes. I sure is going to drive Cat Canada or whatever the fuck her name is absolutely insane, and I'm here for it. I hope you love every minute of it. You know what? I'm going to invite her. Cat, why don't you come on Access Vegas? Come on industry night. If I can get that Hannah Nealman, if I can get Hannah Nealman to come, obviously not this Thursday. If I could get her to come she's in Utah, right? That's not too far. It's only a state away. Get her to, hey, I'll tell you what, fly from Provo, Salt Lake into Vegas. I didn't even pay for the flight. That's a cheap flight. Come and hang out. Clearly, okay, so she's in Utah. That had to have been in Vegas. I'm going to ask my daughter about that. Mrs. American. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Love you guys, each and every one of you. And last but not least, as I was saying, I am going to be doing a lot more work. I'm working with another company called Viewit right now, VEUIT. Look them up, VEUIT.com. I'm going to be doing some content with them. I'm going to see if I can do some of our larger shows. Like I'm looking at doing like say Saucenic, like Saucecast style shows from their studio right now, but they are an alternative to Rumble. They are also their own studio. They have a lot of money backing them up, and they are all independent servers, meaning that they are on the blockchain network. It's a video platform based on blockchain. Look them up. Viewit, VEUIT.com. I'm going to be working with these guys pretty soon. That's another reason why I am I'm going to have a new base of operations in Las Vegas very soon. So you can check that out. Can you get modestly dressed porn stars, though? No, actually. Well, I don't know if that's their niche. If that's their fetish, maybe they would do it. Thank you guys for watching today. No, if anything, they will probably be more made up and probably more spicy dressed than anything. Domo, thank you for Onyx Muse. Domo, she's the redhead girl that has been on Access Vegas lots of times. She's my hoe wrangler. She's my icy for Thursday's show. It's going to be, you will not want, if you haven't seen Access Vegas, this is the one to watch on Thursday. Tiffany Fox will be on with me as well. Domo will be there. Sarah Jesse, I believe, is scheduled. We have a bunch of other spicy movie stars that are supposed to be on with us as well. As I said, AVN Expo. And this year, I probably will be doing a lot of, let's say, stories and reels on Instagram from AVN this year, because now I know what I'm getting into. So anyways, look for that. That's coming up. So look for that on Wednesday. I can't do a midweek because I'm going to be doing Access Vegas. But if you want some really probably going to be pretty funny content, be sure to follow me on Instagram. All of my contacts, of course, are in the description. Check that out there. And one last thing. Guess who else is going to be moving to Vegas pretty soon? This guy.
Would you do it again? I need to feel you on top of me. It was my first time, but I was just a kid when we met and went to bed. It was my first time. What do you expect from me? I'm breaking up the rules now in the game. I've got some new tools. Please do the same. Time came by and went over like a matchbox stereo. Taking my thoughts now, let go. Bound to keep me up all night. Ain't nobody got time for that. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. You could have the best of my life. The best of my life. Now we're fucking in the bathroom, tearing up every wall while I got your hair. Why you screaming my name? Well, I'm a whore. She was swinging in the bedroom, whole time stopping and stubbing with her head like she's Claudia Kelly.
That's nasty. It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty?
Ride me up and down like a pony, turning up my song, getting messy, working up and down on your body. Ride me up and down like a pony, turning up my song on your body. Baby, we'll get down to it all night. Maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again.
Everything podcast has been a production of the Rational Male. All rights reserved. 2024. Reno, Nevada. Registered trademark. All rights reserved. Do not steal my stuff.
I don't chase booty.
I feel like I just took a bath in battery acid.
Thank you very much. Can I be in charge for a while?
Tell these bitches to go to hell.